It's Operation Babble with Myke Shrews. It's pop culture, music, movies, TV too. It's time to explore life. It's Operation Babble time.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, Clarice.
No.
No, not there, not already. Wait, wrong. I have the wrong background for that, but okay.
Buffalo Bill, stop, please.
I'm super happy, you guys. New AC/DC album.
They're still alive? What?
Oh yeah,
I know, Brian Johnson's
we
back.
cut that segment from the other podcast.
Did you? It don't matter. I'm still happy.
where Tivis like just showed us that he was. I was about to say a man, but Tivis showed us his music card.
Wow.
I did not show them that.
Wow.
I think we're all pretty tired today.
I'm good. No, I'm good.
I'm kind
awake.
of tired. But I want to start this off before we dive into other shit. Because I watched a movie that we had talked about on the podcast when the trailer dropped. And I got some words, both good and bad, and some kind of funny things about it. So I watched American Pie Presents Girls Rules, which is on Netflix right now, guys. So this movie isn't... It was a lot better than I fucking thought it would be. Let's just say that. There's a lot of... Okay, so here's the funny thing. You guys know American Pie.
Yes.
It's supposed to be based in Michigan, correct? Like, all the other movies were based in Michigan, around Michigan State and shit like that.
Were they?
Yeah. Ann Arbor's in them and a lot of stuff like that. This is
been
the
a long
first... Yeah, this is the first American Pie movie where they still are based in that city, at Great Falls and everything like that. But as we're watching the movie, because my wife is from Michigan, and I, of course, have been around Michigan my entire life, too.
Wolverines.
They had mountains in the background, like shit from California. You could tell that a lot of this stuff was shot in California.
Mountains in California?
Yeah.
Dang. Going up to Aspen? Wait, is that right?
It's Colorado, but okay.
There we go. Yeah, that's right. I should know that because of Dumb and Dumber. Do I?
But yeah, the backdrop for this movie was all kinds of weird because they actually had the university when they went to the college campus and stuff.
So
but
they
then,
filmed at least a little bit.
Yeah, they like jumped back and forth. You could tell, which movies do all the time. But it was just funny because it was the first time watching an American Pie movie where it didn't constantly feel like it was actually in Michigan, which was interesting.
Mount Shasta.
And yeah, that was like my biggest gripe about it. Actually, is like the placement.
Well,
honestly.
because what I'm looking at California mountain ranges.
Yeah.
There's one called the Black Mountains.
Yeah.
So from what it sounds like, the way you just described that, you're racist. So
Okay.
that's why you didn't like it.
Most likely.
Because it had California Black Mountain ranges.
But no, as far as the movie goes, I'm not going to try and dive into it because I don't want to spoil it because it is actually a pretty fun movie and it just came out, so I don't want to spoil for people listening to shit. So my biggest gripe, I guess, besides the mountains, is the reviewers coming out for this movie.
Uh-oh.
Of course, this movie is American Pie, just based around the females instead of the males this time, of course. It's done very well, but some reviewers are out there going like, here, I'm going to pull up this one, and I'm just going to read a section of this review because I read it to Nikki, and she even laughed.
Oh, Lord.
Because so my wife did watch this movie with me. It wasn't just me watching a bunch of high schoolers like by myself.
It's fine. It's not like you were watching Cuties. It's
yes,
fine.
It wasn't Cuties, and all the actors are in their 20s at least.
It's sad that we have to specify things like this.
Right.
Nowadays.
So, where is it? All right, here we go. The problem with Girls Rules is not that it's low budget or the ninth entry in the 20-year-old franchise or laden with countless incest adjacent jokes, which I didn't see any incest jokes, but okay. No, the problem is, and here's where I was just like, what the fuck? The problem is that it envisions itself as a progressive reboot of the original merely because it stars women. Sadly, there's nothing resembling a human female in this tasteless but mildly tender rom-com dashed together by a male director, 2 male screenwriters, and a half-male producing team. The film appears to be the cinematic equivalent of 2 straight girls making out at a party for some bro's attention. That's what this person wrote in their review about this movie. And my wife read this review as well, because she was surprised that she actually enjoyed the movie as well, because she doesn't really like the American Pie movies a whole lot, especially the Presents ones, because the Presents ones are always more of a hyperbolic statement onto everything that they're doing.
Yeah.
Not that fucking a pie isn't hyperbolic anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, did you see American Wedding?
Right.
That shit got weird. I really liked Bandcamp. That was kind of the only like spin-off one I ever watched. I thought that one was pretty good.
Because Bandcamp, there was a time period between Bandcamp and like Beta House to where they went more from like serious toned to more, well, not serious tone, but like more serious comedy, I guess, dramatic comedy, to more like outlandish comedy. This one kind of goes back. It reminds me a little bit more of Beta House or Bandcamp more in a Beta House film. However, the issue that we both had with this is it says there is no resembling of human females in this film.
That's a very weird statement.
Yes. During the entire movie, me and my wife were both like reminiscing about high school, and we were like, oh, I know someone exactly like that from fucking high school. This was my female wife saying this about female characters, about females that she knew in high school, for real people. So whoever wrote this review is just fucking retarded.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder what gender the author of that comment is.
Maybe it's a male. No, this one is a female. No.
Oh, no. I would have absolutely put my money on a virtue signaling dude on that one.
And this is the part of the thing. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter.
Oh, great. This will be fun.
And then I went to Rotten Tomatoes. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes. And this same person posted the same person posted the same thing over there. And then I was just like, oh, you just want the attention.
Making the rounds.
But actually, like, the fact that they have to point out that it's a male director and male screenwriters writing for females, it kind of like takes away your point. Like, oh, so you weren't even caring about the movie in the first place. Yeah. Like, you didn't watch the movie. Like, and the fact that they later on in the thing, they also talk about how the main plot is kind of stupid. So from the trailer, I had gathered that all the girls were supposedly virgins, like in the first American Pie, right? And that their whole thing was to go out and have sex, like that was their goal to not be virgins or something. That's not the case with this movie. The pact that they actually set up is actually a little bit more it's less juvenile than just like, I gotta go have sex. And there's only one girl in their group that is still a virgin for the movie, during the movie. So, and there is a Stifler. One of the girls is a Stifler. And she does a very decent job at being a Stifler, but also like giving that feminine twist to it as well, I guess. You know, she's not running around just grabbing dudes' dicks or something like that, like you would think that they would do with a Stifler.
Well, I don't know. I mean, other than the mom, has there ever been a female Stifler?
No. And was the mom actually a Stifler, or is she married into the family?
I would imagine she married in, but I don't know. Maybe.
Because in Bandcamp, his dad was the Stifler, right? Oh no, Bandcamp was the brother. He was the brother.
It was the brother, yeah.
In Beta House, his dad was a Stifler. So I don't
the
recall.
mom is somebody else then.
Yeah.
So
unless the mom either married in, so Stifler's mom from the original either married into the family, or she is a sister who just had a kid on the side and didn't get married.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm just like,
I didn't
because
even
then
think about that.
well, because it opens up the idea that like, yeah, you could make her a little different. She doesn't have to be like the brothers,
Right.
You know?
And it is separated by 20 years from the first movie, so
Yeah, there you go.
People change, times change and shit, and they actually do a decent job of it. Like all the comments I've read about the movie have to deal with basically the guys who wrote the movie or directed the movie because they're men. We actually looked it up because I didn't pay attention to the credits. Like, I didn't see the director's name. And I was like, I wonder who directed this. And then I was like, it's kind of fucked up, I have to say. I wonder who directed this because, it's basically a female movie. And me and Nikki looked it up and we saw the director. And, like, I don't know if they were sleeves or if they were actual tattoos, but it was just like dude who looks like a big old biker guy. I was like, okay, perfect.
Well, I mean, it
was still an entertaining film.
Yeah, I mean, but it's always that conversation, though. It's like, in this day and age, for some reason, we can't just watch the movie.
Right.
It's like, I'm all for, like, critiquing a film, like taking a magnifying glass to it, like, on a structural level, and just making sure, like, everything is kind of sound, and, and then you can, like, pay attention to the music, and then you can check out the editing, and it's like, okay, is everything ebbing and flowing? Is there something that's not working? So now I'm noticing it. But when you look at it through this weird gender political lens, it really just kind of saps all the, like, nuance from stuff, because it's like, you start thinking of weird shit like that, where it's like, oh, I wonder, did a man write this? Did a man direct this? And then, like, every scene you notice, like, is there a minority in this scene? There better be, like, weird stuff like that, when I feel like, we've always had diversity on the screen, like, in the old films, and we just didn't pay attention to that stuff because we didn't care. It was in the background.
Yeah. Well, like Nick said, is, like, basically, like, it not only, like, they're questioning who directed it or who wrote it or whatever, it's like that they're saying that these characters aren't, like, real, like, incarnations of females that they've knew in the real world. She's like, well, just because you didn't know people like that doesn't mean those people don't exist. She's like, people like that exist. Plus, it's a comedy movie, so they're taking elements from possible real life people and making them a little more hyperbolic. Yeah. Like, that's how fucking movies are made sometimes. Like, you're going to go to and watch a fucking Adam Sandler movie, which we'll get into, Tivis, and expect, like, the characters to not be fucking hyperbolic and shit. And, like...
Well, it just makes me laugh. Like, the words archetype mean something. It's like...
Yeah.
You like, the archetype is the base, like... the base template that you have for a character, and it's up to the movie to figure out if there's going to be extra dimensions to that archetype, or are they just hero man, damsel in distress? Are they those nerdy science person?
Right.
Like, are they just going to be that only, or are they going to have, like, a personality and other traits that define them? Like, that's up to the writer to do.
Which is perfectly... Which I really liked about the Stifler character too, is they show her as, like, this badass, like, right when they introduce her, they show her do this thing, and so you get the feel, and then you realize, oh, that's the Stifler right there. Mainly because the person calls him Stifler at the end of the scene, but I was just like, okay, so that sets the tone for this character, but then that character has, like, tone shifts throughout the movie. Kind of like Sean William Scott's character in American Wedding, where he was, like, always trying to be that, like, the Stifler we knew from the first one, and then jumping to, like, the Stifler, like, he's
trying
coming
to
in,
impress that girl and prove that he's not an asshole.
Right. Yeah. So it was not a horrible movie. I found it to be more or less juvenile than, like, Bay the House and Naked Mile, I believe it is.
Well, you'd like to think maybe they would have a little bit of, like I don't know, they dial it back a little bit because they are trying something a little different with the female cast.
Right.
So it's like, maybe don't scare everybody off in the first the first attempt.
No boobs in this movie. I think it's the first American Pie movie without any boobs in it. which
Is there at least a dong?
no,
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
no. I think is the movie PG-13 because I didn't see any nudity in this film.
Well, then that just seems like counterproductive to the actual franchise. Then
They do go into like a porn shop, which is also another thing I had like a thing with. I was like, as it was going on, I was like, this girl opens up a drawer full of a bunch of dildos. I was like, how's that girl have that many dildos? And she's like, what? Guys can get porn. Nikki did this. So we were going back and forth, like guy-girl thing, during the whole movie, which was awesome because you don't get that all the time when you're watching these movies, especially if you watch them by yourself.
Tivis, I heard you over there being a pirate. What was the
Oh, that's the rating.
Oh, okay. For this one?
What is it?
R.
R? Okay. Well,
that
I'm
makes it even
guessing
weirder,
for
then.
language and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And there is a lot of sexual jokes and stuff in there too. So, but go on.
I was just gonna. I looked up the director, Myke Elliott.
Yes.
And you're gonna have to help me with these, but
Okay.
he formed Capital Arts Entertainment with Rob Kirchner and Joe Janier.
Okay.
But they've produced a ton of films, including Casper Meets Wendy and Addams Family Reunion.
Yeah. He also helped produce 3 from Hell with Rob Zombie, which was Rob Zombie's latest addition to the Devil's Rejects films.
Time Cop 2, but
Yeah.
stuff he's directed: Beethoven's Big Break, Blue Crush 2, A Warden's Ransom, The Scorpion King 4, November Rule, and Girls Rule.
Yeah. He doesn't have many on his directing, but his producing is like there. So
Oh yeah, no, it's a ton. They basically
Scorpion King 4. Did you say that one? Yeah.
yeah, that's one he directed.
Yeah. Which, I mean, hey, why not? Like, it looks like there was a 5-year gap between his directing, but he has been producing a lot of shit. Holy crap. But no, like I was saying,
Yeah.
with like the dildo thing, like this girl opens up this just a nightstand drawer and it's full of dildo, like the expensive ones too. And not like the ones that just look like dicks either. But this is adult podcast. People grow up, John.
It's just weird how you're like, it's like, no, there's so many dildos, just all
There was
manners
just
of dildos.
so many of them, and these girls are supposed to be in high school.
And they were the pricey ones.
They were. And
Glass
these
ones,
girls are
rubber
supposed to be
ones.
in high school and shit. And I looked at Nikki. I was like, "What fucking girl? Why does she have so many?" I was like, "She can't do." And she's like, "Well, why can guys have porn and stuff, but girls can't?" I was like, "But she's in high school. You can't even go into an adult store unless you're 18 years old and purchase this stuff." And she's like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Unless her mom is buying it for her dad or somebody, which is even weirder." But yeah.
I don't know. The internet exists. You
And
do
then
turn 18 when you're in high school. I'm
I was
just
gonna say, were they
throw
senior?
that out.
You can. Which we got into that conversation too. I was like, so maybe one of them is 18 or something, or
And
all
also-
of them.
And also, we are talking about a porn shop that would require you to be 18 to get into the store. I mean, Spencer's Gift sells.
You can't buy those at
shit.
Spencer's
Well,
unless you're 18.
I know that.
Which
but you
is
can
What about
something
see
I
it.
had to tell Nikki that too.
What about
can
Amazon?
You're bringing up all her points. Amazon, yes, you could actually probably get them on
Yep.
Amazon. So fuck me. Yes, Tivis, you're right. I didn't even think about that
Done.
one because online shops, they don't ID for anything. So
The internet is a glorious place.
yeah.
Hopefully
Okay.
not eBay.
Okay, I'm gonna shut my mouth on that one. I'll even tell her Amazon when she gets home tonight. Because
Well, also,
we actually.
I do still feel like I still do feel like me and Tivis already counted it in the first place with the fact that you can be 18 in high school.
You can be, but like for all of them to be 18, it would just be kind of.
Well, you'd only need one person to buy it. Well, granted, is the
Two
girl
of them
who
end
has
up going
them.
into the store though, by later on in the movie. So
All right, fair enough.
yeah. But yeah,
Weird thing to harp on, but if you're gonna argue it, I'm ready to go.
How many dildos should a high school girl have?
How many dildos can a dildo have if a dildo could dildos? I don't know. I don't know, man.
All right, yeah. So, but no, after we watched the movie, we ended up going to bed, and we stayed up in bed talking about people from high school that we remembered just
don't
like
do that.
that.
Oh no. That is some good pillow talk right there. Also, was that a cherry Coke that you were?
Cherry vanilla.
Oh, I was gonna make a cherry poppin' joke. Now I don't want to anymore.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, time has passed.
But yeah, no, my biggest gripe with seeing the reviews on it is a lot of them just harp on the fact that a man directed it and men wrote it.
Well, that's pretty much what film criticism is at this point.
It's just annoying.
Usually you can't get more than 3 comments in before it devolves into that kind of weird meta narrative nonsense.
Yeah. Oh, Tivis left.
No, I'm here.
There he's back. I'm trying to look and see what these other guys wrote. So one of the writers has been the writer for American Pie, Wedding, American Reunion, and American Pie. Oh, he wrote on all 3 of the originals. Yeah. Okay, so maybe that explains a little bit more of why it's somewhat serious tone, like underlying tones. So
can I say though, I want to get back to a minor point.
Yeah.
And especially that Tivis brought up that it was rated R. I'm actually upset. One, come on, nudity's great, so come on, sling a boob out there.
They did show a lot of ass. I think a lot of ass was shown.
Yeah, but you see man butt in like everything that's like PG-13. But especially any sci-fi crappy original movie. If this is kind of quote unquote geared towards women, because it's like their version of it, the fact that you're not seeing a couple of dongs slanging around seems just kind of it seems kind of lame. I feel like
you see a lot of dildos.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing. Like we got.
I'm trying to think if there is a dong at all.
Shannon
like
Elizabeth, we got.
Even the last one you saw, like the last one that they did, a reunion came after Wedding, right? Yeah. So even that one, they showed a girl who's supposed to be in high school, and you're just like, okay.
How do I feel about this?
Right?
Please be 18 in universe. Please be.
No, like before we turned it on, like we went through IMDb and was like, are all these people like over 18 before we turned the movie on? Because we didn't know what the movie was gonna show or or be like. So, there was one guy, the lead guy in this movie, which this is another funny thing. Watching the movie with your wife, we were like, these people look way older than us.
Well, that's usually how that works. I mean, it's one of the biggest harps that we have on like old shows and movies.
Yeah,
man. Everybody looks like they're 40.
So there's the lead character. His name is Darren Barnett. He's like almost 30 fucking years old, and he's playing a high schooler. Which, I mean, yeah, Clueless did the same thing.
True.
But here's the thing. So I brought it up. Okay. Clueless did the same thing. They used 30-year-old actors in Clueless. But, Paul Rudd still looks like he did in Clueless. He just has a little bit more wrinkles on his forehead. This dude had more wrinkles on his forehead than Paul Rudd does now. And crow's feet and everything. And I'm trying to find a decent picture of his face. Because me and Nikki, I looked at the guy. I was like, oh, he could play a young Elon Musk. And this is him right here. For the video guys.
Looks more like a young John Mayer.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah. That I think that's all I have. I can't harp on this fucking movie too much longer because otherwise I'll just go into a spasm.
Before you know it, I'll be baking pies all day.
Yeah. I did bring up, Adam Sandler hyperbolic shit, and I know me and Tivis watched something. I don't know if John ended up getting to it, but
I saw trailers for it. I still don't have Netflix. That might change. Stop Tivis, every 5 seconds, I know you're trying to fix your camera, but if you do that too often, people are going to start thinking things. I might be
waving.
getting. Oh no, I might be getting. I might be getting
I fucked it
Netflix
up.
again because I've heard really good things about The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've
I
heard
won't watch it, but I've heard it's a really good show.
Well, and Rahul Kahili's in it, the guy from
iZombie.
from iZombie, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a
Personal
more
st-
supernatural, right? It's supernatural.
oh
shit,
yeah,
right?
it's paranormal stuff.
Yeah. I don't really dive into that stuff, but
I heard the first season, Haunting a Hill House or something like that, House Hill, whatever. Apparently that was really good too, and then it kind of just fumbled its ending a little bit.
that's not supposed to be House on Haunted Hill, right?
No.
Okay.
I think that's why, myself included, like, tons of people can't fucking remember the actual title. But yeah, I've heard really good things about Bly Manor. I saw the trailer for that Adam Sandler thing. I was like, that looks like relatively self-aware. And
Yeah.
it looks kind of fun. So I was like, because I liked, like, it was kind of reminded me of Little Nicky, but just maybe a little bit cheaper. And I was like, I could. Yeah, I can get down with this. That looks kind of fun. So, I mean, based on your guys' recommendation, I'm assuming you both liked it. So,
Well, Tivis, would you like to start and say the name of it? Because neither of us have said the name yet.
Hubie Halloween.
Ooh, Halloween.
Honestly, it really reminded me of his older stuff, like Happy Gilmore. And the way it starts, you kind of can't help but equate it to Happy Gilmore.
I heard there's a lot of Easter eggs. Like, he makes, like,
There's so many.
like Adam Sandler references, essentially.
So many. In the first 30 seconds, they referenced Happy Gilmore.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Instantly. I was like, okay, I'm hooked now. Let's go. I
One
know
of my
where they set the tone for what the movie's
Yeah.
going to be like, and you're like, all right, let's go. I'm down.
Kind of like Adam Sandler's own version of Deadpool. Like,
Right.
like, he is Deadpool.
I really feel like he took that joke, the video someone made of the Adam Sandler verse, and actually incorporated it a little bit as a joke into this film, and it worked really well.
The one thing that a lot of people kept going on about were, like, for the Easter egg was the O'Doyles. O'Doyle rules! I'm like, guys, they're in all of his fucking movies. Like,
Yes,
that family
it's
is in every movie he does, basically. Like, that's not even an Easter egg anymore. That's just, like, his lore.
It's the funny. It's like the funny running joke throughout every film.
The O'Doyles are like the Stiflers of the Adam Sandler movies. They're in everything.
I was going to
There you
say
go.
that earlier.
Oh yeah, that was the other question. Sorry to take you back to the American Pie. Did Eugene Levy show up?
No, I was waiting for him to show up.
Oh.
I was really waiting for an original cast member to show up. I didn't see any. Upon first viewing, of course, there might have been somebody that I didn't recognize, but I didn't see anybody in there. So
Yeah, I was gonna be surprised if he'd showed up because with all the success of Schitt's Creek,
Right.
I just don't feel like he'd want to. I hate to say the word downgrade back to doing something like that, even with a cameo
Yeah.
role. I figured it's time for him to get away from that. So okay, cool.
get away
I
from the
was
franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, just
But
because,
I was just waiting for, like, anybody else to show up.
yeah,
though, you know,
like the
'cause
mom or something, like
the
Stifler's
mom,
or something.
Stifler himself. Because what is he doing right now? Like,
He's on some TV shows. He was
Is
on
he?
that. He was on that. The Lethal Weapon.
yeah,
TV
he
show
came
for a
and
little while.
replaced the guy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
What was
Anyways,
the
back to
girl who went
Hubie.
to How I Met Your Mother?
What?
Who was the girl that went on to How I Met Your Mother?
Like, wait, what are you talking
Which
about?
girl?
From American Pie.
Oh, Allison Hannigan.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I
You
thought
mean Willow from Buffy?
Which they
Excuse you?
they do have a ton of of course Bandcamp shit in the movie. A couple of the characters that's where they met and shit like that. So they keep it very world building in there. Like they stayed in their world besides the fucking mountains in the backdrop. They've stayed in Michigan area right there. And when I say mountains, I don't mean like fucking hills, people. Yes, there are hills in
They
Michigan.
are.
I know that, but they're fucking mountains.
not to go on another tangent, but I saw her on TV recently. She's hosting a pumpkin carving show.
Yeah, which Griffin Ramsey was on.
Okay.
Was she really?
Yeah.
I
Can
just
she
discovered
just-
it. I have to go
can-
back.
Can she dress like Willow, like Demon Willow, and she was like all witched out and shit?
No, because that would turn everybody on way too much.
Blue eyes and all.
Hell yeah. That's how you know she's angry.
Going back to the Adam Sandler movie, the only thing I'm kind of disappointed in is the person, because there's a dude wandering around in a mask, and I thought it was going to be David Spade. It's not David Spade. He's not
I
in
thought
this film
that too.
originally.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
There's a few of his regulars that weren't in it, and I was like, oh, okay. That's interesting, but okay.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but otherwise, I really enjoyed it. I mean, Kevin James' character, he's
Yeah.
great. Who else is in it? Rob Schneider, of course.
Rob Schneider.
Who played his
From the
Steve
Schneiderverse.
Buscemi?
The Snyder cut. Release the Schneider cut.
Steve Buscemi.
He was wonderful.
Yeah.
I thought.
His
Was Kevin James still bald?
No, he had a mullet.
No. Are you talking from when he played the neo-Nazi thing? I still want to watch
Was it called
that.
Becky? It looks
Becky?
kind of good.
It looks dope.
Well, essentially just looks like Home Alone, but like
With
instead of being
Nazis?
stuck in the house, she's like trying to get into the house, and it's like, I don't know. The whole thing is I think the movie's gonna be dumb, but Kevin James looks awesome as a bad guy.
I heard that the Becky film that you're talking about, it's pretty brutal at some point.
Oh yeah, no,
Like-
isn't Joel McHale in it too? Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really
I think Joel
strange
McHale's who I
cast.
heard talking about it. I was like, okay, interesting cast for a serious toned film.
Well,
for
did
sure.
you ever see the movie The Book of Henry? Because I saw some clips from that. That was like
Oh yeah.
pretty messed up. This kind of reminded me of that. Like this
Okay.
felt like it was going to be this weird, like overtly brutal Home Alone-esque type
Yeah.
thing. And I was like, really, the only reason why I'm signing up for it is because I would like to see Kevin James play a different character for once.
Right.
And it looked like he nailed it. Like from the trailers and stuff, he looked like he's just like kind of just.
He went from the king of
Went-
queens to the king of Nazis.
Oh, hail. Heil.
It's like
no.
you don't even want to bring up Nazis in your topic, but when the media is like the film industry is like focused on Nazis so much, it's
Yeah,
like
tell that to
that's-
the
it's
boys
part of
season
your
2, my dude.
the what?
Tell that to the boys season 2, my guy.
Oh
Come
yeah.
on.
Yeah. It's like they just want to bring it up all the time.
I wish
Oh,
they
no.
would stop attacking Wolfenstein. Those guys know how to rile people up.
In
Tivis, what's a German's favorite number?
I don't
9.
know. Oh,
9. 9. Sorry.
So in the Hubie Halloween movie, which I found was cool, was of course his wife is in it. Like she shows up usually as cameos in most of his movies.
Yeah.
She's been getting more prominent parts recently. I wonder if she's been complaining or something. But
Interesting.
he's kind of gone the route of what's that guy, the director from 40-Year-Old Virgin shit, his buddy.
oh.
John, what's that director's
What?
name? The
For which
guy
one?
he did 40-Year-Old Virgin. This is 40,
Judd Apatow.
Judd Apatow, yeah. Like he was going the Judd Apatow way, where both of his daughters are in this movie now, and they actually have a role rather than just like showing up for half a second. I think
Also, don't forget. Well, Leslie Mann is his wife as well.
yeah, no, not Adam Sandler.
Judd Apatow.
Judd Apatow, yeah. So, but I think Adam Sandler had his daughter voice in Hotel Transylvania once.
Like
One
a
of the
ghost,
daughters.
like a little cute
Yeah.
ghost.
And then I think his younger daughter played his daughter in Grown Ups, if I'm not mistaken.
The chocolate wasted one. I want to get chocolate wasted.
Yeah, I think so.
The first one was funny. The second one was a little too try hard.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I thought it was still entertaining. Just
It's not as bad as Jack and Jill. It's
good.
Hell yeah. It's so
But-
weird. Like, how did you think that relationship
You
blossomed?
bring in
Because it's
Stone
like-
Cold Steve
Because don't forget, he
Austin
was in The
and-
Longest Yard. So I imagine that's where they met. But you got to assume that him and Adam Sandler knew each other before that. That's why he ended up in a bunch of these movies. I just found that really strange. It's weird when
him and Adam
my
Sandler,
interests collide like that.
I think they met on
What?
the prison movie.
Longest Yard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good. Welcome to the conversation, Mike. That's fine.
You guys cut out on me. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Adam Sandler's very good at bringing in like people from other media types, like pro wrestlers, hip hop artists. Fucking, he's done stuff with Eminem, Vanilla Ice multiple times.
Shaq.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say
Shaq.
Uncut Gems. I mean,
Shaq. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaq is in this one.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, but all right.
I like it. I like it.
I can dig it.
I want that damn thermos though. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's got like a Batman thermos in this thing. Like, not like a Batman branded thermos, but like, think Batman's utility belt. That's his thermos in this fucking movie.
That
It's
sounds kinda
awesome.
cool.
It might even have shark repellent. Who knows?
Yes,
I wouldn't
as we
be
all
shocked.
need. As we
I was
all
li-
need.
I looked at it and like everything he was doing with it without spoiling any shit because it's funny. Is like, I told Nick, I was like, dude, that's like Inspector Gadget's thermos. I was like, you know what? Adam Sandler could play Inspector Gadget, like an older version of
No,
Inspector Gadget.
you stop it because I've already written an idea. My idea was an Inspector Gadget starring Ben Schwartz. I think he'd kill it. John Ralphio? Hell yeah. He's a good actor. He's awesome. He's got the range, man. And he's lanky and like he's still relatively young. I like it. And he's got some traction because he's been doing voice acting forever.
Yeah.
So he could do all kinds of weird voice tisms when like he'd be a lot of fun.
Maybe.
How dare you? No, I'm correct on this one. I will fight
Um,
Hollywood to make this happen. I need Inspector Gadget with Ben Schwartz as the lead. I need it. Gimme. Anyway, sorry.
It's a good thing you don't get what you want.
I know.
Anyways.
Do I ever?
So, Tivis,
It's
what
hard
did
to
you,
say anything more without spoiling.
Right. Okay. I was gonna say,
I mean,
what's your overall thoughts, and let people know if they should watch it or not.
I mean, if
sure.
you're worried about spoiling
I
it for
love it.
me, that's fine. Go ahead and talk about it. I'm not scared. It'll be a while before I see it.
What did you
anyway,
think
so.
about the opening? What did you think about the opening, like the Happy Madison intro that they do all the time?
That was a nice little change. That made
Yeah.
Halloweenified it.
Yeah, they turned it
that's
into
fun.
a Halloween type thing.
Well, that's fun.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I love the film, but I also really like Adam Sandler comedies, so take
Yeah.
that with a grain of salt. But like
You
I said,
guys-
it reminded me of Happy Gilmore.
Yep.
Yeah, so you already ruined it for me because all I was thinking about was like, God, Happy Gilmore is a great movie. Like, it's one of my favorite sports movies ever made.
It's similar tone.
It's a lot more hyperbolic, I would say, than Happy Gilmore.
Well, I'd imagine. Like, again, because the character seems like he has that, like, sorry to say it, but the, like, mentally deficient voice, like he did, like, with, like, Lil Nicky and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, you could already tell it's going on the line of, like, overtly silly.
I think it's the same one he did in Waterboy.
It's
Okay.
a loosely based off of that one.
Which,
yeah.
again, is another great sports movie.
Yeah. Gotta tell you though, for Adam Sandler with all of his goofy voices and like making characters out of them and then performing an entire movie with that voice, fuck all these other actors that like can't even hold a fucking British accent for like half a second and lose it and then bring it back, or fucking the guy who played Gambit in X-Men Origins, like he couldn't hold his accent for shit.
Or, like, Harley Quinn, who goes back and forth between, like, does it work?
When she was drunk in Birds of Prey, she completely lost that accent. Like, I don't think she could do the drunk and then the accent at the same time. It was weird.
It was really strange.
It was really weird. But that's still a good movie. And so is Hubie Halloween.
I luckily I haven't seen the other one, so I can't push back. But I think I've said my piece on Harley Quinn enough.
I watched another Halloween film though.
Uh-oh.
Dun dun dun.
I watched Happy Halloween, Scooby-Doo.
That's so weird. We watched Island of Vampire Island.
Zombie Island?
No, the vampire. They went to a vampire island.
Oh yeah.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
see that one.
I have that one.
Yeah, we Hannah apparently, because I bought the like 8-pack of 8 of their movies, and then the 2-pack Zombie Island and Return to Zombie Island for her, so she can watch that.
I still have to see that one.
Yeah, so she can watch all those. And she said she started the the vampire one, and she's like, I got in 10 minutes, and she's like, I said something really nice, and then I said something really mean, and then I was confused, and then I got mad, and then I turned it off. She's like, I need to watch it with you. I was like, okay. So she's like, I need you to set up the microphone because we have to have commentary on this. And I'm like, okay.
If it's anything like this one, you're gonna have good material. Because wow.
Yeah, it was pretty and then and don't get me wrong, we get it. It's Scooby-Doo, so dumb stuff happens, but like the whole point is it's like a mystery. It's essentially supposed to be like a what do you call it? Like a Perot or Columbo or Murder, She Wrote, or those kind of things, where it's supposed to at least like the motivations of the characters and like what happens at least actually leads up to the point. And then they have like their obligatory musical runaway from the monster scene, and it's like they nailed all that stuff, but then they just kept adding characters because maybe I don't think Scooby-Doo works in a movie format. I think it really works in the smaller.
Hey, I don't know about that because those 3 movies they put out in the early 2000s, Zombie Island and the 2 that followed, were really good.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I guess that is right. Because like Zombie Island's good, Return to Zombie Island's not very good. It's essentially what they based the.
Well, I was gonna tell you that's part of a trilogy.
Oh no!
It's the middle movie of a trilogy. It's the sequel to the 13 Ghosts, called The Curse of the 13th Ghost. Then Return to Zombie Island, and then the third one is this one, which I watched with no context to the other. And the main reveal is an overarching thing that happened in all 3 films, so it made no sense to me.
Oh no! Yeah, because again, you're obviously going into the movie, so you have your suspension of disbelief. It's also a cartoon, so you have to let some things go. But again, it's always been pretty good that the characters all we know the characters, so they should behave appropriately. And then when they introduce because with the vampire one, the Hex Girls show up, and it's like, well, we've seen them throughout movies and a couple of appearances in the shows throughout the years, all the iterations. And it's like, they all have personalities. And it's like, when they're all acting completely different, or like they're making Fred essentially like a complete moron. And like, they were like really like, with the vampire one, like hypersexualizing Daphne. It was really strange. It was really, really strange. And it was just kind of like, I'm like, guys, I was like, Hannah, this doesn't feel right. We ended up pausing like 3 times because there's so much going on that I just go, I'm completely lost. Like this is the show has lost its mind. And then when they all converse and pull the mask off, it's like, see, this makes sense. I'm like, does it though? Does it? It was difficult. It's funny that you watched a Scooby-Doo movie too. That's funny.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm going to spoil this one.
Go nuts.
If you're a Scooby-Doo fan, you're going to watch it regardless, but you're going to hear me not like something for once.
So, Tivis, you said the one you watched is the final in a 3-part series? Is that what that is? But it's a Halloween special, too.
It was marketed as the first Halloween special, even though they have like 3 films that are already in Halloween. I'm sorry, 2.
Warner Brothers get better at your marketing. So
Goblin King and the one with Kiss are both Halloween specials.
The one with Kiss I saw before.
I would just make the argument Scooby-Doo is just made for Halloween. Like, come on. Unless it actually takes place on Halloween, it's kind of like, it's just the subject matter work.
Their Halloween should be their night off. Like, everyone's in a fucking mask anyways. It doesn't matter.
It's like, guys, we can't pull it off all these children. Eventually someone's going to get pissed off.
Their marketing was so bad for this one. I didn't even know it was part of a series.
Yeah,
That would
I
have
have never
helped
guessed.
a lot. The characters in it, they had Elvira,
Hell
who,
yeah.
Halloween, and she was
Mm.
in Return to Zombie Island, so she's been established. What was it? Bill Nye just in there, no explanation, just shows up.
Like the science guy or Bill Nighy, the actor.
No, Bill Nye.
The science
Um,
guy.
Oh, all right, Bill. All right, let's go.
And he is a prominent character. No explanation to how they know him or anything else. Apparently, that wasn't in any of the other films that I know.
Tivis, it's because everybody knows Bill Nye. Come on now. The whole world knows him.
And then the final one was Scarecrow,
Wait,
the
what?
Batman villain. Yeah. They had, and he honestly, Scarecrow being my favorite Batman rogue, probably why he's my favorite part of this film.
Oh God.
So basically, they were like, "What is Halloween? Elvira, yes. Scarecrow from Batman, okay, and Bill Nye the Science Guy. What?
Yep.
I mean, look, I don't know
Like,
about
can
you.
we get Beekman in from Beekman's World instead
I'm-
of Bill Nye?
I am not having you trash. Apparently, the holy trinity that is Halloween. Elvira, the big boob, sexy lady. Scarecrow, who sure I would have went with the Wizard of Oz one myself because he would have looked just like Shaggy. But Bill Nye, I mean, come on, man. We know for a fact Bill Nye can scientifically prove that Halloween is the best holiday.
We also know that Bill Nye has the best costume because he's pretending to be a scientist for his whole life. So
Oh wow, that was well done. Also, where's Ratfink? Come on, Bill. You gonna just leave Ratfink behind? What is this? No loyalty.
Apparently, you don't want to go trick or treating at Bill Nye's house though, because there's a
What?
running gag in the background where you just hear him talking about how Aquaman doesn't make sense to a kid for like 20 minutes.
why doesn't Aquaman make sense? I'm curious. Why doesn't Aquaman make sense?
Well, I mean, have you seen the movie?
Is he talking about the movie or the character?
The character who
Yeah.
is apparently real in this world.
Okay, then. Okay. Oh, this was happening in the movie.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you meant like at this actual house he was telling
No,
trick-or-treaters
it was in the movie.
something.
He's like talking
What?
to him over the radio, and he has to leave them at a crucial point because trick or treaters are at the
But
door.
like
Michael,
in their
no,
world,
Michael,
no,
no.
in their world, Aquaman is real though,
No.
right? Like,
Yeah.
No, I'm not letting you slide on this. You're like, oh, is the movie like what scenario did you think? So like Bill Nye and his, I'm assuming wife. I don't want to project gender status on him, but what do you think? Like from 5 to 7 in the like afternoon to night, like kids are showing up, ding dong, trick or treat. He's like, no, here's a Snickers, but do you understand why Aquaman makes no sense?
No. It's a kid dressed as Aquaman comes up to his door and he's like, "All right, before I give you your candy, I have to explain to you why your costume is retarded."
Oh God. I
I don't.
kinda wanna watch it.
You always see these videos popping up of random celebrities' houses where they're saying or doing something stupid. Maybe he was just, I don't know, man. He's not even a real scientist. Can we move on?
Well, at least if he's gonna tell you the message about voting or why Aquaman doesn't work, as long as he's wearing his clothes in front of the children, I think it'll be fine.
My '90s science guy was Beekman, so fuck off.
Well, and I just want everyone to know
If
that
everyone
him having
knows-
his clothes on is an actual reference because people did that. And a bunch of
okay.
celebrities got naked
Oh yeah,
and made
yeah,
a compilation to tell people to vote. That was not me just coming out of left field. All right. As
The best thing about
Shaggy?
the film,
Really?
also, Matthew Lillard's back. Shaggy. Hopefully
I
it
don't know.
stays that way. Because, again, I like you, Phil, but you're not Shaggy.
I don't know, man. I liked Casey Kasem's son.
Yeah.
He came in and did it for a little while, and it was way
like
better
Matthew
than
Lillard.
anybody else's. Matthew Lillard's all right, but like,
I'm partial to him because he's a giant nerd.
Kasem just sounds better. Just sounds more like the original.
But they take all of the the main cast and crank their personalities to 10 in this.
Yeah.
Fred, crazy trap guy. That's all you like. There's a part where he just goes full tribal, rips his shirt off, puts mud all over himself, builds traps all over the place.
Hell yeah, Predator reference. Love it.
Shaggy and Scooby, they don't change pretty much.
Yeah.
Velma Big Nerd. Daphne, they turn her kind of into a Mary Sue, but it's for a joke where they actually reference that she's a Mary Sue.
Oh my god.
And the entire film, it's her and Elvira paired up. It's revealed at the end she's just trying to take Elvira's life. Like, she's swapping clothes and like.
Oh, I thought
trying
you
to
meant
take
like
tips
she was
from-
like, your soul is mine.
It's like
No, she's
Daphne
trying-
became Shang Tsung. Like, chill out, man. Like,
And apparently this is a thing that she does in this world of Scooby-Doo because Velma references that she's done this before, trying to take over a celebrity's life.
oh my god.
At the end, she asked for Elvira's wig, and she's like, it's not a wig. Yeah, come on, just let me wear it for tonight, because they're at a costume party at the end.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, fine. She takes it off. She's like, but it's not a wig. It's a macaw. And then the wig turns into a monkey. And then back into a wig. Like, what is this movie?
Classic. I'm telling you, man.
So what I heard is, Tivis, you loved this movie.
How dare you? How can you possibly not like it? It's good.
I didn't hate it, but it is not. I am not the demographic for this film anymore.
That's his nice way of saying I hated this fucking film.
Yeah.
You're too nice even when you hate something, Tivis. Come on.
I'll definitely be saving it for when I have kids of age.
Oh no.
To show them how not to make a Scooby-Doo movie?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, just be aware if you're going to watch this, it's third part of a trilogy. Might help.
That's crazy.
Well,
I
luckily-
always... Go on, John. Go on.
Oh well, luckily we bought all, like, pretty much. I think we own every animated Scooby-Doo movie now. So if we miss it, we only have ourselves to blame at this point.
I always just thought the Scooby-Doo movies were just all one-offs. I never knew they were in sets because I just randomly will buy them, like on Black Friday and shit. They'll have them like for a buck or something like that. Yeah.
The early ones were continuations, and then they became one-shots. And now apparently they're back to continuations.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Kids will probably really like it, but I'll stick to the live action.
So Hubie Halloween, good.
Yes.
Scooby-Doo, no bueno. Is that on a streaming service right now? If people can check it out or no?
If it is, it'll probably be on Max because WB.
Oh yeah, WB. That's right. Yeah. No, they're gonna make their own Scooby-Doo app, and it's gonna be Scooby-Doo Universe, and then they're gonna take it away after 2 years. Sorry.
I'd rather pay for that than Max.
No, man, there's a lot of good stuff going on Max. Like all well,
Now
I guess
that my
I can't.
DC Universe app is completely fucking useless. That's awesome. It was like the one. It was actually like the one app I was consistently using.
I'll probably use it for the comics in the future.
Yeah.
Well, it's just comics. I'm just kind of like, meh.
Speaking of something so useless, I was watching Comic
about
Book
me?
Men. Yeah. John, no.
Yeah, you rang.
I was watching Comic Book Men, like I've been telling you guys, on Amazon. They fucking took it off now, so now I gotta buy it if I want to watch it on there. I was like, come on.
Oh, I'm fucking butthurt. You told me that. I put it on my wish list. I was gonna frickin' binge it these last 2 days, and nope. Get fucked me. Awesome.
I was
Just
so
awesome.
pissed. I was like slowly going through the episodes after I like blasted through 2 seasons, and then I was like, all right, let me watch it. And then it's like, you gotta pay $1.99 for this episode. It's like, the fuck I do? Like, what?
Amazon's real bad about that. Hulu used to. I don't know if it still does.
Well, their
They changed
contracts
UI.
run out.
Yeah, but who gives a shit? They were made by AMC. Like,
Who
how are
owns
you not-
AMC?
Who fucking cares? Apparently a bunch of idiots.
Hey,
like
keyboard guy, get on that.
Overwatch, do it. He's our guy in the chair.
Felicity.
No, what's his name? What's his name? From fucking Kim Possible? I can't remember.
I didn't watch that show.
Oh, how dare you? That's a great show.
It was.
Because you think like Kevin Smith he does a lot of stuff with DC. You think they just put him on HBO Max?
Yeah. Well, I know they're not owned by Warner Brothers.
They're
Yeah,
owned
AMC
by
isn't.
AMC, who also owns BBC, IFC, Sundance, and We.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course, BBC.
Because there were issues with the guys from Comic Book Men crossing over with the guys from Impractical Jokers because they were on two completely different networks. They were able to get them on like
Cameos.
was it Brian Johnson on Cameos every so often, I think it was.
Q standing in line.
Oh, that's all they got him for on there? I
Yeah.
didn't even see that one. Oh. That's gay. Okay, so John, I promised you I would tell you I watched a movie that I said I was not going to watch.
Again.
Lord of the Rings.
Again.
Have you finished Lord of the Rings yet?
My onion rings. I am the Lord of my onion rings.
I'm just gonna hate you every single day.
Lord of the Flies.
We got to save that for episode 100. We're coming up on it. 10 more, bro. Let's go. And then we're just going to call it quits. And just end the podcast at 100. Just end it. Sorry, guys. Invest now.
You're never gonna watch those. Don't lie to me.
So
Anyway,
I said I wasn't going to watch this movie. Kind of like I said I wasn't ever going to watch Aladdin, but my wife ended up having it for free, so we ended up watching it.
Mulan.
No, not Mulan. We're not paying for
Oh, that was going to
shit.
be my guess.
I'm not paying for that. I'll wait till the 4th if we're going to ever watch it. Of December, people. Remember, you get to see it. I watched, because it is on, what is it, Amazon Prime. The
Okay.
Addams Family animated film.
Oh,
yeah.
that had to be shit.
You told me you watched it. God damn it.
Yeah, I
Guess
told
that.
you I watched it because I was like, "Watch, John's gonna go."
That had to be shit.
If you could get past the animation, it's actually not a bad film. But there's a lot of shit in it that I'm just like, well, that's not Addams Family-ish. Also, they had Snoop Dogg play Cousin It, and he doesn't talk. So I'm like, why did you have Snoop Dogg play Cousin It? Like, he shows up as a pimp, but I'm like, yeah, all he does is go. That's it.
I was going to say, please tell me he just mumbles the weird stuff that he does.
Well, I mean, isn't that I mean, that's essentially on par with, like, remember when George Clooney used to do, like, the voices for the rats and stuff in South Park, and, like,
No.
And, I mean, could you say it's pseudo on par as Vin Diesel just doing I Am Groot constantly?
Yeah, but he's actually saying something like it.
Well, 3
Cousin
words.
It doesn't actually say any words. He's just like,
Yeah, I guess fair enough. He's invoking.
he's kind of
He's
like the
invoking emotion, I
fucking
guess.
puppet from the scientist puppet.
Beaker.
Beaker. Yeah, that's basically Cousin It, just with hair on him all over him.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, think about that.
No, I don't want to. Don't tell me what to do. You're not my supervisor. So, come on, man. There's no way that was good. That trailer looks so ass. And before anybody on the internet tells me, oh, the character designs are from the original comic, I don't care.
Are they?
Yes, they are the original. They are the original
know
character designs. It doesn't make them good. Just because it was in a comic book doesn't mean it was good.
Now,
So
it might be the Hanna-Barbera cartoon, but they didn't look good to me either.
I thought it looked like
I
doo-doo.
totally had forgotten. I've forgotten all about this cartoon. And I went to the Halloween store and they had the costume of Gomez there, and it resembled somewhat of the guy of Sean Astin's father, John Astin. I'm glad I know that now.
That's strange.
It
You know
kinda
Sean
resembled
Astin,
him.
who's Samwise Gamgee, but you can fucking. It's fine. I'm
Sean
not-
Astin
no.
played a lot more characters than in Lord of the Rings and a lot better movies.
Okay, whoa. I'm okay with the many other characters. All right, chill out. I understand Rudy and 50 First Dates exist, but better movie. Chill out. Lord of the Rings is better than Goonies. Fight me.
Ooh.
I also have 3 films, so
Now John is definitely banned from the podcast.
I weigh the pros
There
and
might be a
cons.
second one eventually. Who knows? Probably never.
Oh God,
No.
please no. Please no.
But no, I thought the costume was of John Aston because I had totally forgotten, and I was like, it doesn't look a lot like him except for like in the eye area. I was like, why is this costume so weird? And the person there was like agreeing with me that it was based on the original Addams Family TV show because I had forgot. I was like, you own the store. How do you not know what this costume is?
Oh man.
Because they just had it like out on like a dummy thing, so it was like the full costume with the mask, and there was a cheap ass mask too. It was so bad. Yeah, that's my story for that. But we watched Addams Family because it was on Prime for free. I wouldn't have paid to watch it, so it's probably a good thing it was on Prime.
I'm gonna keep arguing with people. They need to stop saying free. If you're paying for Amazon Prime, it's not free.
Okay, it was on Prime for me. Haha. There we go.
You go. Because I understand people. You can get like early access to movies and like rent them for like an extra $5 or something. But I make the argument. Oh my God, dude. There's this movie called The Doorman, starring Ruby Rose and John Reno. It's essentially It's essentially a ripoff of Die Hard. I watched that trailer, dude. There were about 4 times I paused it because I was laughing so hard. Like, they have like these explosions and they do these like wire moves with her. It looks so bad. We're talking like Batwoman bad stuff.
I want to watch it though.
Oh, I'm so gonna watch it. It looks like absolute cringe, dude.
Yeah.
And I also had to make the comment
Between
again,
that
because-
one. Oh, go on.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, like, harping back to the idea of like looking through stuff with a political lens.
Yeah.
Giving Ruby Rose and like her like pro feminism craziness that she was doing on Batwoman.
Yeah.
Really surprised that they would title the movie The Doorman
Instead of the Door Woman.
or something like really dumb, like Door Person.
Oh.
I know it's like it's not necessarily a joke. I'm actually kind of serious about it. I'm surprised that's the title.
I don't know.
You think they would have called it something else, but like it's essentially Die Hard, and she's just insane. It's absolutely insane, dude. I'm never gonna pay for it, but I am sure as hell gonna watch and make fun of that.
How about
That's on Prime though.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you have to.
But you have to
But
pay.
it's they're calling it early access.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, why?
See, I saw the trailer for that and the trailer for the Megan Fox Rogue movie.
Yeah, and the
And
Rogue
I'm
one
gonna
actually
watch
looks
Rogue.
dope.
Like I'm gonna watch the shit out of that one.
Because
So, yeah.
that I can understand, because at least she's like using guns and stuff. Like if
Yeah.
I see her like fist fighting a dude 3 times her size without actually like
Yeah.
just trying to go toe to toe versus like actual like
Isn't
I don't
Megan
know.
Fox dating Machine Gun Kelly or some shit?
oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah, that's a cringe fest if you ever watch them on social media. Woof.
yeah.
Oh,
Is
you
it-
know, but
is it
you know
that
she
bad?
makes tons of good decisions. It's fine.
All I remember was like
So-
they did like a music video, and I just thought that was all they were doing. I didn't know they were actually together until someone said something about it.
The only thing I remember is the cast of Transformers wanted Megatron to step on her.
yeah.
The cast did?
Yeah, they wrote a letter. They didn't like working with her.
That'd have been funny.
Well, that's
Oh,
why they got rid of her too. Like,
Yeah,
for
that's the
third
rumor
movie.
with Brie Larson. They all want to get rid of her. Nobody wants to work with her. Captain Marvel 2 might not happen.
Oh, before I forget,
she's just gonna be in everyone else's movie to piss all the other actors.
I
off.
know, right?
you were looking for a different word for doorman. What about go the Walmart route? The greeter.
There we go. There we go.
That actually is
I'm
a better title. I would like that one.
I'm down. I'm down. I'll take it. Anything's better. Okay, so Addams Family, like it looked really juvenile in the trailer. Like
It
and
did.
I saw like some
Actually,
extended stuff.
surprisingly, I didn't think it was gonna have like a story, like an actual story to it. But they have like the social commentary built into it. Is like, you know, accept people for who they are, even though they're different type shit. Which you could say that should have been the commentary through all the Addams Family adaptations, but they never really like put it heavy-handed like this cartoon did, I guess, because they
Yeah.
actually said it, like verbally said it. So I was like, oh, like, because I couldn't figure that out by seeing people hating other people that were different, right?
I mean, I
But
guess it's hard. I
kids,
guess it's hard because
I
I mean, and you also got to argue one of the greatest scenes in the Munsters is when Herman's talking about how you should accept people and stuff like that. But it's like almost poetic and eloquent the way he says it. He doesn't just say, "Hey, people look different, like them." It's like,
but the Munsters always had it. Like almost every ending episode, if I remember correctly, was like they had like that Jerry Springer moment where they would like a moment with Jerry Springer, and they would like do this like, you know,
Kind of
what
like
this
the
means
end of
and
Scrubs, the wrap up.
yeah.
well, I would argue that's essentially what those shows used to be. They were the after school special, if you will. Like every episode tackled something.
And I want to, while we're talking about monsters, real quick, I want to give props to the casting because both Hermans, amazing voices, great, just level-headed personalities on the show.
Who was the guy who played the Herman Munster in the like soft reboot thing when they went into the future?
Boy.
I'm only gonna watch. I think I'm only ever gonna rewatch the original, but I'm just kind of curious.
The original was Fred.
Yeah.
John Shuck played him from 88 to 91.
Okay.
But he's had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different people play him.
Jeez.
I'm surprised they never did like a crossover with Star Trek and the Munsters.
Oh, they actually had someone named Edward Herman play Herman.
Oh yeah, John Shuck. He was in the he was in Star Trek.
Oh my god. Well, there's your crossover. Nailed
there
it.
it is.
Elseworlds.
He was also in
multiverse.
MASH as well. Okay.
And Law and Order.
Yeah.
Would you perhaps say he did a monster mash?
It's Monster Mash.
I bought that
The
song.
Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard smash, if you guys didn't know.
Did you know there's a sequel to that song?
No, shut up.
It's a
No.
Christmas song.
No, don't let it be. No.
How about we actually get the Monster Mash song? Because we only hear about them listening to the song. There's no actual song.
Well, if
we have a
Universal
song
could get
talking about a song that we never get to hear.
They did that mash.
As I say, if Universal ever
Monster
got their
Mash.
shit together, maybe we could get that scene.
Is Universal still own the Munsters, do you think?
No, they were trying to the dark universe.
The Dark Universe. Okay,
Yeah. Bad
Who
joke.
owns the Munsters? I'm surprised they haven't tried to bring that shit back. Like, I don't want them to, but I'm surprised they haven't. Like, especially with the Addams Family cartoon and all that shit.
There was that 1313 Mockingbird Lane short that came out, I think, 2012.
Yeah. There's a toy store named 1313 Mockingbird Lane, too. And I actually saw a mini doc, and I was like, this name looks familiar. And I was like, oh, I get it. And and then I looked him up on Facebook, and I was like, oh, yeah, I follow these guys, too. So, but anyways, yes, Addams Family, I watched it. I'm sorry. But it wasn't a horrible fucking movie like I thought it was going to be based on the trailer.
So my mother-in-law is a huge Addams Family fan, so I was wondering if I should play that for her.
I think she would probably like it. So, John, you got anything for us? I think I'm cashed out with what I had.
Well, you guys kept talking about horror stuff. I was like, Hannah and I watched
It is a
John Carpenter's The Thing.
The Thing.
With Kurt Russell.
Russell?
And all that.
Yep.
And Wilford Brimley ascended. Rest in peace, homie.
This is like the 4th podcast in a row that you brought Wilford Brimley up.
He's comes up in my life a lot, man. I don't know what it is. It's strange.
Maybe you
'cause I
should
eat a
go
lot of
get
sugar.
tested.
for diabetes.
For diabetes.
Fuck, it was great, dude.
That's the world telling you need to go get tested.
I know, right? As you drink your cherry vanilla and eat candy and stuff on the podcast on the regular. Fucking hell.
It's
hey,
got
there's nuts in it. It's
peanuts in
healthy. Almonds.
Oh yeah, is this one almonds? Yeah,
God.
almonds. Whole
Yes.
almonds. They're not chopped. They're whole. Boom.
Wow.
Healthy snack. Besides the milk chocolate. If it was dark chocolate, it'd be better.
Confirmed. It was awesome, dude. I forgot how good it was. Practical effects still hold up pretty well. Bunch of
Didn't
characters doing logical things.
Yeah. Didn't they
you know,
remake that one? Is that the one they remade?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe the remake
Was it a remake or a prequel?
It was a prequel. It was a prequel.
The one that recently came out in the 2000s
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Kurt Russell one is essentially a remake of a
remake.
black and white
Yeah.
one from like the 60s or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which, I mean, the Kurt Russell one's way better.
Yeah.
Just
It was
especially
awesome,
for the
dude.
use of the effects, because they, like my background today for the visual people Reanimator did with the Thing, they would do a lot of stuff in reverse to make the monster look like it was attacking them at first. So they would shoot it and then reverse it.
Shout out
So
to
that was always cool.
Mommy right now because they're playing the thing at the indoor.
Oh, there you go.
There
It
you
was a lot of fun, man. Like, some good world building. Like, there was actually some set pieces. Considering you're, like, essentially just stuck with these people in a compound, they at least, like, travel to a couple other locations quick. And there's, like, this big, long helicopter chase where th're chasing down a husky.
yeah.
And so at least there's, like, some interesting stuff happening before you get to just a couple of set pieces. And just, like, the acting's really solid. Cool, diverse cast that actually all the characters look like normal people. Like, they look like real people who've been out
Yeah.
here. And again, funnily enough, Wilford Brimley is one of my favorite characters in the movie because he has one of the cooler scenes. And this is kind of one of those moments where I think it really highlights the thing I talk about, like characters behaving logically in a illogical moment. Like, the setup is Wilford's character understands that there's a creature that can look like any of them, but nobody else does.
Right.
And so he starts smashing up equipment and stuff because he doesn't want anybody to come out here. He doesn't want the thing to get away, all that stuff. So he starts breaking equipment. He's taking an axe to all their electronics and stuff. And he's just yelling like, it looks just like us. We'll never. And as a person on the outside who doesn't understand what's happening, he looks like a crazy person. While even though he's doing something that looks really irrational, he's yelling something that everybody, if they were listening and agreed with him 100% and paid attention, like the movie could really start there and they'd be like, wow, okay, so there's really an alien. You know what I mean? So I like the idea that the person with the most knowledge looks like the most irrational character in that scene. And I find that really, really neat because that's that idea of like, it just really works. Like, no characters are behaving like in a stupid manner and they all try stuff. Like, there's a scene where they have to figure out a way to figure out who is reanimated or who's been taken over or whatever. And they do this thing with blood. And you just like, everybody has to take a chance because it's even at a point where nobody, like the person who's taken over could potentially not even know that they're taken over, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I like that little bit of element. This is 100%, watch The Thing. This is what they should have done with the Skrulls in the MCU, by the way. Like, this is what the Skrulls should have been. These things where you could potentially put a bunch of people in a room and nobody knows who the bad guy is.
Yeah.
Including the person who is the bad guy. They wouldn't even know. And I love that weird, freaky element. Again, the practical effects are really solid. The acting's really good. The dialogue's pretty good for the most part. It's a little campy, but I like it. The acting really helps. Again, if you like diverse cast, if that's something you're looking for, it's there. And again, with the practical effects and the way that they used to shoot stuff, a really cool scene is when a doctor is trying to, I think he's trying to defibrillate, or I always muck that word up, but when he goes in for the hit, the stomach opens up and essentially eats his arms off. And apparently they made like a prosthetic or a mask or something to look like the actor and got an actual amputee to not have arms, so they did that. And I like stuff like that, because like The Walking Dead used to do stuff like that, where they'd get amputees and actually put them in the makeup and let them do stuff. I love things like that where you can actually utilize, because you're literally making it as practical as possible. Yeah. So it feels really visceral. A little bit of the designs are kind of goofy, like when you finally see the monster in like full and it's got like the weird dog face and like human face and all this stuff. It's kind of uncanny valley, but at the same time it looks horrifically goofy, kind of like if you go back and watch like the first Terminator when Arnold's taking his eye out. Like when you were a kid, like that's really jarring because it's just like it's his eye, so we kind of can feel that almost. But then you grow up and you look at the prosthetic puppet and stuff, you're like, oh my god, that kind of looks like shit. But like at the same time, I appreciated that they attempted it. So
right.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It's a smidge long, but I think it's good enough that it should hold your attention. And I like the ending too. You have I think Keith Richards is his name, the guy who's like in everything sci-fi, and he's awesome. Sergeant Johnson from Halo, if you will. Him and Kurt Russell are just sitting down in front of each other, pretty much ready to die, and neither of them even know if either of them are the monster or not. They're just hoping that they killed it, and they're just there, and their mission was complete to kill the thing like they wanted, but it's open-ended enough to where it's like, ooh, it's just ambiguous enough.
30 years down the line, they'll bring it back and ruin it.
And fucking ruin it.
So, since you mentioned that, I've looked up the history of it. It comes from a book that came out in 1938 called Who Goes There?
Oh.
It was adapted first in 1951 as The Thing from Another World, 1972 as Horror Express, and then 1982, finally, John Carpenter.
Wow.
And there's a new one coming out based on the extended book that includes the sequel called Frozen Hell, being produced by Blumhouse.
All right. Well, Blumhouse is pretty 50-50 lately, so I mean,
yeah, I don't like when people. There's a lot of people out there in the horror community that be like, "Oh, Blumhouse has everything. It's fucking awesome. It's all." They're kind of like, you know, the film students with A24. It's like A24. Everything they put out is fucking awesome.
And even if it's not good, it's artsy and it tried. Oh. Is that where our standards are now? You just got to try.
Not everything is artsy that they put out. There's Tusk. No, was Tusk A24? Yeah, Tusk was A24. But there was one with what is her damn name now? I forget. They ruined her in Child's Play for me. The mom in Child's Play. Oh, shit. The remake. Sorry.
Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza, yeah. She played in one movie where she was like this dead girlfriend or some shit that A24 put out.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's not a very like artsy film, but it's fun.
You want a good version of that? Go back and watch My Boyfriend's Back. That's a
fucking awesome movie.
That's
I used to watch it all the time.
Actually, I don't know if it's good. I haven't watched it in a while, but it was really good when I saw
comic book style too. Like, remember they'd have the comic book pages every time they'd switch scenes and shit. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm always 50-50 on that. Like,
that
Ang Lee's Hulk tried to do it
because, well, no, that one fit because they were doing it as like a narration, like he was like basically reading. It was going through it.
That's fair enough, but I mean, it's
Ang Lee's Hulk did not do it how they did it. Like, they would like
losers tried to do something
and
like
zoom out, and then it would change to the next scene. So
yeah, I suppose.
But you were talking about The Thing. Another one to check out if people like The Thing and want to get pissed off. Watch 30 Days of Night about vampires in Alaska taking over.
I love that movie.
I hate it. It's too dark. I can't see anything. I literally can't see anything.
You don't like it?
Yeah.
It's 30 Days of Night, Michael. Of course it's dark.
The better one, though, kind of like The Thing, The Faculty. That's a good one.
Faculty's some good shit. That's some good stuff. Starring Elijah Wood, no less.
Is Elijah Wood in that? I know Josh Hartnett was in it, so I didn't know Elijah Wood was.
So So since we're talking about the thing and it's
Disturbing
October,
behavior.
My thing.
have you guys seen the other films and what Carpenter calls his Apocalypse trilogy, Prince of Darkness and Into the Mouth of Madness?
I've seen Into the
No.
Mouth of Madness.
Didn't know that, you know, they obviously they're not connected, but
Right.
he can. It's kind of like
Tarantino.
what is it? What's that?
It's kind of like Tarantino, where he's like does his like.
Yeah, I was
sets.
thinking more of the Frost and other guy. I can't think of his damn name right now. The
Wow.
trilogy. They start at the bar with the zombies. God, why can't I not
Oh,
think
Shaun
of
of the Dead,
Yes, that trilogy is what I'm thinking of.
where they
What?
did Shaun of the Dead.
Edgar Wright, the Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah,
What did they call it?
The Cornetto trilogy.
Which movies are in that? I know it's Shaun of the
Hot
Dead.
Fuzz.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End.
Yes.
The World's End was a fun movie. I like that.
I just watched clips from it. I've never watched it.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz was one.
There was a hit or
That-
miss. Like there was some cool shit in it,
Yeah.
but
I
Yeah.
wasn't.
Hot Fuzz was the one that I watched, and I wasn't sure if I liked it, but I've been told by a couple of people I really respect online when it comes to their opinions that
To
it's
like it?
well, that it's like one of the best, like, tightest scripts, like it's just really, really well constructed. And maybe I just didn't like it.
I
So
think
I'm
a
curious
lot of
if I-
their movies, though, that Simon Pegg does are really well constructed.
Yeah, because Edgar Wright apparently just has a lot of attention to detail, and it's
Yeah.
like it's him, Simon, and there's one other writer that they consistently work together on those movies. So even if they tend to be a little outlandish, they tend to be pretty just sound. Like there's not as many plot holes as you would think. I mean, there's obviously like when you're dealing with like sci-fi robots,
Yeah,
aliens constantly,
but I know
to that kind of degree.
Simon Pegg wrote Star Trek Beyond, and he was pissed off about that movie. He did not like that movie.
Movie sucked.
Yeah,
It's fucking terrible.
he didn't like it.
Yeah.
But it was like him and like 5 other fucking people.
Yeah.
Or,
Well, he was coming
no,
in to
4,
he
3.
was coming in
maybe?
to fix it, though. Is kind of what happened.
Yeah, but he got his name as like the main writer credit.
Yeah, which I would
pissed
never.
him off.
Yeah, I would never pin that on him. There's no way.
Paul was another good one that they did.
I
The
enjoyed
Alien
Paul.
with Seth Rogen.
It kind of doesn't hold up. It's a little slow and a bit juvenile, but
It's funny you mentioned Seth Rogen because I didn't see the last one of that trilogy. I want to. Instead, I watched This Is the End.
oh,
They're
yeah,
two completely different
bad.
movies.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
This Is the End is fucking terrible. The only thing that was really funny to me is Channing Tatum willing to fucking humiliate himself by being a gimp.
Yeah.
Like, and they tried to make Michael Cera a fucking badass. It's fucking hilarious.
No, they
It
made
was-
him into an asshole.
No, that's what I'm saying. They tried to make him a badass, like, prick, like
Oh,
like
yeah.
the complete opposite of what he is, like in real life for the characters he plays.
I think that's what they were going based on, like what tabloids and shit put out for a lot of these
Essentially,
actors,
I
too.
think it was supposed to be relatively meta. Like,
Yeah.
that movie fucking sucks.
I like
dude.
the Backstreet Boys, but going back to, I didn't mean to cut you off, John. Paul.
Oh no, you're good.
You don't get the Backstreet Boys till you go to heaven, man.
Backstreet Boys, Backstreet's back. All right.
Didn't Paul get a sequel?
I don't think
No,
so.
no,
No.
no.
I mean, I liked it for the most part. I like absurdist comedy that can really that
That
knows,
knows
it
what
has
it's doing.
Yeah, because then when they try to do something dramatic, it really hits hard. If you want to, like pretty much watch any like Korean film ever made, maybe like some Japanese and Chinese stuff, but the Koreans really, and the way I said that sounded overtly racist. I didn't mean to, but like I watched like well, these aren't even Korean, which is funny, but Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer. Those are two films that are like, oh, and like The Host, that's a good one, where they have this absurd shit happen in it, like almost to a comedic effect. But then when they dial it and bring it back in and it's really dramatic, like you have these huge hyper emotional payoffs to where like their outlandish world really kind of works for itself, which I really like. It's a lot of fun when you can do stuff like that, but it requires you to be extremely self-aware and very careful with what you do with your characters. Like, but yeah, I definitely recommend those three. But like with Paul, they do that. Like Bill Hader's character is like so feverishly looking for Paul, and then at some point he gets, he has like a turn of character, and it was really interesting. It was a cool concept. I've watched it twice. We got a good laugh out of it. I don't think it's necessarily that good, but I definitely think it's worth a watch. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
I think I know why I thought there was Simon Pegg says he would do a sequel, but it's so expensive to make that the cost would have to come down. And since it's a British film and Brexit cost everything to rise in cost, that's not likely to happen.
That's what I was thinking about when I was watching Sonic. The
Too
fucking
expensive?
bar scene.
Oh yeah.
They stole the bar scene from Paul and then stole the slow-mo version from Quicksilver in X-Men. I was like, it's literally those two scenes just mushed together.
Yeah.
This idea that they just put some clothes on this thing that looks absolutely nothing like a human, but we're just sitting here and buying it.
There's a lot of stuff in Paul, though, that always reminds me of Roger from American
Rabbit?
Dad.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The gray.
yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they were a little influenced by that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they all know fucking Seth MacFarlane, too. They
Yeah,
probably were like, hey, can I steal your fucking great
Can I
alien
steal your
thing?"
ideas? I would definitely recommend watch it. If you like Seth Rogen comedy type stuff, or even Simon Pegg stuff, like it's Simon Pegg and Nick
wrote
Frost.
it.
Well, it's Simon Pegg and Nick Frost hanging out again.
They
And
both
it's like,
wrote it.
So I'm like, yeah, just go with them. Like it'll be decent. Also, speaking of Seth Rogen, I'm just going to throw the hot take out here. I know you guys haven't seen it yet, but I want the internet to know. I fucking just saw the finale of The Boys season 2.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so you did watch it.
Fuck that whole season now. That season sucked. It was really bad. Season 2 is really bad. I was trying to hang in. It lost me pretty much in episode 3. Episode 4 thought they were doing something clever, and then I just rolled my eyes so hard I got dizzy. And then I pretty much just limped to the end. I saw the finale, and I'm just kind of like, fuck this entire show.
So I
don't even care about season 3. The only reason I will watch season 3 is because Jensen Ackles is supposed to play a character called Soldier Boy, who is essentially their Captain America. And I very much love Jensen, so I will be watching that purely out of fanboyism, and I like Carl Urban. Obviously.
Who did he play? Jensen Ackles.
Who?
Who's Jensen Ackles? I'm trying to read.
He was Dean from Supernatural, or he also did the voice for Jason Todd as the Red Hood in the Under the Red Hood. But he's really well known for Dean Winchester in Supernatural on their final season this year.
Did they finish it because of Corona or no? Did
No,
not get to finish it?
No, they just decided. They're going to finish it.
Yeah,
up.
Well, no,
I
I
think
knew that
announced
they
it
were
before the pandemic.
Yeah, they were gonna end before Corona, but
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they got their ending in or not.
Yeah, they already filmed it,
Yeah,
and now
I think about
they're showing them off, and they're showing them off now.
Man, that would suck. 15-year show. They're like, we're finally gonna end it. Oh no, can't film the finale. Sorry.
Oh fuck
Bro,
that,
that
dude!
would
There's
just suck.
Yeah, but there's no way CW would not give them the final episode, especially when they decided to go out. They're like, "Hey, we don't need 3 more seasons. We don't need to get to fucking 20.
Yeah.
Just let us have this last one to wrap everything up, and we'll call it good." I refuse to believe that they wouldn't wait a year or two, and then just bring them back and have them do it. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
there's no fucking way. The world would riot, dude. Even people who don't give a shit about this show understand it's gone for almost 2 full decades.
Yeah.
Like, fucking let them leave on their own merits. Like,
They've literally
that would be so
referenced
shitty.
that show in their other CW shows. Like,
Dude,
fucking
yeah.
Legends did a whole episode about it.
They had a Scooby-Doo. They had a Scooby-Doo episode,
Yeah.
which was actually really good, by the way.
I don't
Yeah,
watch
it
the
was.
Supernatural show, but yeah, I still have respect for all of it. So.
Oh, it is mindless nonsense entertainment at this point. They are they are pure fan service. Pure. But you can tell they're really talented because like they did stuff like, I think they even did 2 musical episodes, but I know for a fact they did 1. And the one they did was really good. I really enjoyed it. And like, I like when a show can incorporate, when they do something goofy like that, like a musical episode, when they can actually incorporate it into the show and make it purposeful. Like Buffy, they had a demon that made everybody sing and do all that crazy stuff.
Once more with feeling.
Considered one of the best episodes ever, which I didn't think the cast had as much talent for it. So the episode's a little cringe, but the actual story in that episode is some of the best.
Any song that Spike does, I'm down for it.
Sure. Well, and Anthony Head. Come on now.
Head,
Giles. Fucking Giles. Gimme.
And
But
fucking Stewart is like one of the, like, that's why I really wanted to hear him sing in Sweeney Todd.
Repo.
And we didn't even
Repo.
get to.
Repo.
Yeah, but I got to hear him in that, but I wanted to hear him in Sweeney Todd too. I'm like, why did you put him in this movie if he's not fucking
And then he's not
singing?
going to fucking sing. Yeah. I feel you. Oh man, I wouldn't even. Yeah, you're right. What a fucking waste of opportunity. It's the same thing I bitch about with Tangled. I love Tangled. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. My biggest gripe is that Zachary Levi does not sing enough. Like him and Mandy Moore are like fucking incredible. There wasn't a bad singer in that movie, and Zachary Levi just is. He only sings a little bit in the bar scene, and then he sings. They're all duets. He doesn't even get his own song. And it's horseshit. Because Zachary Levi is actually a good singer, and it made me mad. Anyway, but like, with the Supernatural thing, I was a huge fan. I think it should have honestly ended at season 5. Had that happen though, we wouldn't have gotten like Castiel and like the Angels and stuff, which was a lot of fun. And then there's a lot. They're really good at doing the meta stuff. Yeah. So they're really cartoonish, but they do play it pretty close to the vest. Like they understand their own lore. They really, really understand their fan base. They know what they want. These are the kind of people that like, Eureka's a good example for me, where I like the show so much and I like the cast and it seems like everybody's actually having a good time. I will eat up and consume anything behind the scenes. I will be on YouTube at their Paley Fests where they like do these big Q&As and all these like fun little fan events. I will watch every single one. Parks and Rec's another one where it's like you could just tell if they could figure out their schedules and do this for 50 years, they would have. Yeah. And it's like it's hard to nail shit like that because like I don't even know if the Roseanne cast likes each other as much as you would think, but they
probably
not. Probably not, but I mean, man, they cranked out like 8 or 9 seasons.
You think
of just
John
good
Goodman's
shit.
going to set every day and being like, these fucking people, come on. Like, you know, he's just like, fuck, why am I? Oh, yeah, paycheck? Okay, cool.
I don't know, man. John Goodman feels like the kind of guy who just wants to work and he's just good. Think of all the stuff he's been in.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he has to like the people he's working with.
This is
I
also
haven't
true.
heard any stories about him.
Yeah, I've never heard anything bad.
Because he's a good actor. He can act like he likes the people.
Yeah, fair enough. It's also the reason why people stop putting stock in your actors to tell you about political shit because their literal profession is to lie to you to invoke emotion. Like,
I wonder how much they get paid when they do those stupid like vote this year things.
Oh, I don't even actually. To be completely honest, in this day and age, I don't even imagine they're being paid for that stuff. I guarantee you. Well, no, because they live in the system. Oh, yeah, 100%. Hollywood is completely liberal. There's a reason why they call it the liberal arts, Michael.
I know that, but I mean, it's not completely liberal. There's plenty of conservatives in Hollywood.
I'm sure, but if you outright speak on that side, you're probably not going to get any work.
I don't know. Tim Allen's still working.
After being canceled once, the show brought back and then removed again and then told to tone down.
He was removed again?
They were moved by they were canceled, brought back and then moved networks.
Yeah, he moved over to Fox.
Fox, yeah.
And then Disney fucking bought Fox.
Exactly.
And as soon as that happened, I was like, oh.
And then they didn't get canceled, but they had to dial back their stuff, which I would make the argument. When they did dial back the politics, the show got better.
That
But
first episode, though, when they came back and they made fun of the fact
They
that
did
Disney
not fucking
canceled,
care.
they were just like, fuck it. They're like, oh,
They
this
did
network's
not
better
care.
anyways.
They got fucked up, man. That was like a year later they got fucking bought out. It's like, damn.
I wonder,
But you're talking to the guy.
Those, like, how many of those actors were so worried about doing that gag on that episode? Because they're like, well, Disney like owns almost everything I'm ever gonna work on. Probably.
Well, here I'll get back to that. That's actually funny you say that. But I'm still the guy. Fucking fight me. I'll just say that show peaked on season 1, and when they did some recasting and changed up a bunch of stuff, the show went to shit. It was no good. Season 2 was terrible. They deserved to be canceled. It was shit. Season 1 is fucking awesome, and if they could have kept, because like those actors went off and did some really good shit. Molly Epperman, the hot daughter, the middle one, she did a couple Paranormal Activity movies. Caitlin Dever is like fucking on fire right now, all over Netflix, doing all kinds of cool movies. She was the young, kind of like tomboyish one.
They still do the show though, don't they?
I don't know if they're still.
She's the only one still on the show that's original sister. She's the only original sister.
Caitlin Dever or Molly Epperman, the middle one,
the young one.
Oh, I figured she would have bailed. Her career is on fire right now.
She's the only original sister because they changed out the older sister for the one chick.
Oh, and she's
to look more motherly, I think. I don't know.
She is. No, they had creative differences with the first actress.
And then the middle daughter ended up leaving when they got canceled because she ended up getting another gig and she just couldn't do both at the same time. And then they brought in this, they Roseanne'd it, but they didn't try to even make it look.
Didn't even. But then they also.
Close. They're like, oh, you're so tall now. And it's like, I've always been this way. I'm like, what?
Lies. And then they super aged Boyd. And then they changed
they kept the same actor for Boyd. He's been.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, then he had a growth spurt.
It was the kid in Roseanne that was like.
Oh, DJ?
Possibly no. In the remake or the reboot.
Oh, the Connors. Oh, nobody watched that.
Like the boy that was playing the kid, like he had issues possibly coming back, but I think he did anyways.
No. But then Boyd's father, they replaced him too with this like soy boy vegan dipshit.
Who was the character before in the first season? I forget.
Would you love to know who? It
was like a Hanson or something, right?
No, fuck you, Hanson.
Judas, or what are those?
Judas?
What the fuck? Called? Where are those guys called?
Oh, Jesus! Somebody get Jesus in the silver coins because Judas is here. No,
I don't pay attention to those.
It was Nick Jonas.
Jonas. See,
one of the Jonas brothers.
Judas,
I got you.
Jonas, same thing.
To be fair, I knew where you were going, but that is just—it's an unfortunate name that you bring up.
No, now the guy that's replaced him is Hyde's brother.
Yeah, which is also kind of unfortunate. And when you say Hyde, we mean the Masterson brother. Was it Danny?
Danny Masterson, yeah.
Which I didn't finish up my musical stuff. First off, by the way, the 70s Show musical is fun, but there's no reason to do it. They just do it. Also, it was funny you said the Simpsons make fun of Disney constantly, and they're owned by Fox.
Yeah.
Tivis, if you look stuff up and you're gonna give us information, don't just pot shot it in there. Feel free to tell us to shut up.
It's Christopher. Danny is the guy who played Hyde.
Okay.
Yeah, Danny's the guy. No, Jordan Masterson is the guy from Last Man Standing. Christopher is the guy who was in Malcolm in the Middle. The older brother from Malcolm in the Middle.
Because, man, they dialed down on Boyd's dad. Like, man, they really hyped him up as this weird, like, super vegan, crazy person. And I'm like, wow.
Well, he was supposed to be the extreme left against Tim Allen's extreme right.
Which I also understand. But again, the just lack of subtlety hurt so hard in season 2. It hurt, man. And then, like, they made Kyle, like, overtly dumb. And then when he had him starting to date the middle daughter, I'm like, wow, you fucked this show up completely. This is bad. Because it doesn't speak to Kyle's character, first of all.
Yeah.
Second, it's really weird. It would be the equivalent of me dating Hannah, and then a few years later, Hannah's like, "Nah, I'm gonna go back to my baby daddy," and then I start dating her little sister. That's fucking insane.
Oh, hey, Danny Masterson has 2.
Okay,
things
we're
that
just
he's
gonna.
working
Okay,
on.
never mind. All right,
I'm
bye.
sorry. We were on the
Fucking hell,
Mastersons
dude.
for a second, so
Fuck me, dude. Like, for real.
My favorite musical was Scrubs.
Yeah, and they make that work in time because the lady has a tumor and it's all in her mind, which I loved, and I thought the music was actually really good.
they did a
Just
music
jumping
video
all
in
over.
Last Man Standing on the first season.
The
pie one.
Pyrac.
Yeah,
It's Pyrac. And
Yeah.
It's awesome, and it really showed the chemistry of the 3 daughters that did not exist in the second season. You could tell.
well, it's because they replaced the oldest sister by the second season.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The actors just don't have any chemistry.
Yeah.
Like zero.
You think
compared
they
to
would
the
get
first one.
when they replace an actor, get someone that looks closer to
Kind
the
of
person?
looks like them. Yeah.
Like-
They're just like, no, if we overtly do
hasn't
it.
like TV hasn't had this issue before. Like they recast the dude who
70s
in
show?
Bewitched in the 70s show, in Roseanne, in Home Improvement. I think recast the character.
Because Sarah Chalk looks nothing like the original Becky.
Becky too.
Fucking hell. And that's so funny that they brought her back for an episode. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, where they both
What?
met.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
They brought her
Sarah
back in
Chalk.
the original series.
Yeah. I think it's the original. I'm like 90%
In
sure they bring
Roseanne,
her.
when
I know
when
in
they
the reboot-
rebooted,
Not the Connors. Not the Connors.
No,
no.
the Roseanne, the new
Roseanne
they met.
before it turned to Connors, when they rebooted it, she was a character that was supposed to be pregnant with the other one's daughter, I believe it was
Yeah.
the original
And then they
Becky's
and they
daughter.
and they just stare at each other for a second. It's really fucking funny.
Yeah, like you look familiar.
Well, and like
Or no, John Goodman has a joke about it. Because he
Yeah.
comes in and sees both of them at the same time or some bullshit.
And then Lisa Robin Kelly, who was Eric Foreman's sister, she died tragically, and then they replaced her. And oh my God, the replacement looks nothing like her.
yeah,
Nothing. Which I do understand. It could be difficult to find somebody that looks like them and has the talent at the same time. But fucking hell, try a little bit harder. Like, please. Just don't write the character into the... Because, like, don't forget, like, in that 70s show, Donna had a sister.
yeah.
And then
Young
they just,
sister.
like, after season 1, never spoken about again.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like, you guys can just write them out. It's
Kelso was
fine.
also supposed to have like 100 brothers too, and we
He's
only
got, like,
ever saw
4
one.
brothers or some shit like that, yeah.
Yet we only see freaking
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson, yeah.
You mean Stripesy? Yeah. But sparked all that. Season 2 of The Boys sucks. It's really shit, and I would
I forgot
really
where we started.
and I would I know, aren't tangents fun? 100%. I would really like to dissect this one because man, it is a cavalcade of nonsense. Like to literally, I watched the finale to where I was because it's one of those things where because of the way that they and Michael and I had a really good discussion about this. The binging aspect. Like, I really do think companies are fucking themselves lately by not just putting everything out at the same time. I understand the mechanics of like keep your audience invested and keep them around a little bit longer. But the way they did it this year with Boys, they dropped 3 episodes, 1, 2, 3, bam. And then did weekly for the last 5, I believe.
Which is why I stopped watching.
But see, that's what I'm saying. People drop off, but the whole thing is like when, before I watched the finale, I went back and watched all the episodes again.
Right.
Because I wanted to know what was going on going into the finale. And the problem is all the things that I was noticing that they kept fucking up got compounded like 100-fold in the finale, which then made me go back and rethink about all the things that happened throughout the season to lead me here. And I go, this season's shit, dude. It's so bad. Like it's like iconically bad. Like I think it's really shit. And
Go watch Umbrella Academy.
I've heard it's worse.
I find it more entertaining.
I
It's just
really
so
like.
much more entertaining.
But see, my problem is I really like the first season. I
here's the
don't want
thing.
them to fuck it up, which they obviously did.
For me, I can get past the technically bad aspects if it's still entertaining.
But see, I don't know. I don't even know if it was entertaining because it was
The
so
boys, I don't
overt.
find it entertaining. That's
That's
why we
what I'm
stopped
saying.
off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because they got so overt with their stuff. It was no nuance and it wasn't the commentary and like the silly stuff that they were doing to like call people out was not funny anymore. It was to a point where it's like, ooh, like when they would do it, you just sit back and go, ooh. Like, remember when they were talking about they're shooting the Seven, essentially the Justice League movie in their world.
Schneider cut or
They're shooting it,
Joss
and then one of the
Whedon cut?
characters comes over and they go, hey, so have you guys seen the Joss rewrites? And it's like, fucking hell, guys. Could we not?
It was funny for a second, but then you're just like, oh, you're gonna keep going with it. Okay.
But you know why? But you know why I have the problem with that? I'm fine with Joss. You didn't say Whedon. You went with Joss. Which Joss is already just a really different name.
Right. You could have said Josh because everyone calls him Josh anyways. Fucking.
That would have been fucking hilarious. That actually would have been kind of funny. But you and I even brought up the idea that Seth Rogen was Seth Rogen in this world when he's producing the show, which is pretty wide known knowledge.
Also, this
if you're gonna compound like that, it's awful.
This was shot clearly before all like the Ray Fisher stuff. So it's like, okay, what are you trying to commentate right here when you're saying this?
Well,
like,
and there's just basic ass shit that I keep telling people. I'm like, here, I'll just give you like 3 or 4 things just so people know I'm not just saying it because it's not just about me. A-Train gets booped out of the Seven by Homelander.
the only person of color in the fucking Seven.
Well, I mean, we have somebody called Black Noir. Does that count? No, it doesn't.
And when he gets like shot or something, you can tell he's Caucasian. Like, I think that you see his skin
and burned
come
all
in
up and fucked.
Yeah.
So sorry, you might get a couple of spoilers, Tivis. Trust me, I don't even know if you'll finish it because one of my biggest problems. Well, no, because honestly, I know you're not enjoying the first one. Which, trust me, I can totally understand for like the aesthetics and stuff. But in the second season, they really double down on the violence, but it doesn't feel justified. Like when violence was used in the first one, it was like overt gore, but there was a point. It was to show that Homelander was ruthless. It was to show this person was
they're like gods that can do whatever they want. Now they just do it for the
Well, it doesn't even feel like they're doing it. It feels like they're putting it in because, well, we're
no. I mean,
that's
like
what
the filmmakers are doing it for the value.
That's what I'm
shock
saying.
Value.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. 100. But you have A-Train getting booped out because he has a heart attack and his heart can't use his powers anymore. And Homelander knows that, so he kicks him out. Stormfront comes in. We find out she's a Nazi. And the reason why they won't bring A-Train back, the show told us, it's because Stormfront doesn't want him back. And we know why Stormfront doesn't want him back. It's because she's racist.
Yeah.
Which they actually feed that into the show a lot before they even reveal that she's a freaking Nazi. So
yeah, which is fine, which is totally fine by me because I think that's an interesting idea. A superhero that's actually racist. I think that's a fucking great idea. You could do a lot of stuff with that.
Think they take it from like, a president that's actually racist, or
but you could do stuff like
a congressman or
something like that. But my issue is then they're trying to get him back into the Seven. He ends up joining this like group. Kind of the only thing that was really funny to me, and like I was interested in where it was going to go with the Deep and A-Train kind of hooked back up for some reason, but that goes fucking nowhere, so it doesn't matter.
Do they do? Because I haven't finished. But do they do any deep stuff with deep stuff? Do they do anything
with the Deep
with the
collective
the collective or
the church,
Scientology
church,
or whatever
the
fuck you want to call them, the cult.
they show that they have like some tie-ins with some people. It's not really fleshed out, and I honestly the deep storyline looked like it was just it just went fucking nowhere. It was
I would like
honestly
to
felt
see
like
them...
100% comic relief.
So do you think that that cult thing is going to be in the third season, or you think it's gone now?
I think
Again, still haven't seen the finale, so that's why I asked.
I want to say yes, but no.
Because you could do a lot of deep things with that
I
cult.
know, right?
Like,
You really could. Based on the finale, I'm gonna say no, but there's always potential because it is a organization, so maybe we'll see. But the deep storyline, which I found funny, they have some really dumb moments, like the Patton Oswalt Gills thing. I think is a complete fucking miss. I didn't find that funny. I thought it was stupid. But like his storyline goes nowhere. So even if I hang in for the dumb stuff, it wasn't worth it. But like the whole thing is to get A-Tray back into the 7. And their idea is because, well, Stormfront doesn't like him because he's racist. It's like, no, Homelander fucking kicked him out because he can't do anything. And then the story just says, no, he's perfectly fine. Like the last episode says, no, I can use my powers. I'm fine. It's like, what? We don't even know why. It's really lame. And then there's this huge fight where Starlight and Stormfront are involved with each other fighting. Starlight has to get her powers from electricity. And we've learned that she can pull it through cars, anything that's electrical, she can pull power from and use her powers.
Which that wasn't even the thing in the first season, was it?
Yes, it was.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, it was.
Was it? Okay.
Remember in the alleyway when she beats up the racists? Did you get rapists? I mean, sorry, they were gonna rape the girl and
rapists,
she fucks up these
they're
three
all
guys.
assholes, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, essentially, right?
Yeah, but I don't remember any power going out.
She
anymore.
she pulled out from the streetlights.
Oh, I missed that.
I think the second season they like kind of dive into it a little more then, because I don't remember them saying that they pulled it.
Oh, don't worry. They really do, but I'll give you the nail in the coffin for me. This is the second thing that I hate. So it establishes that she takes her power from electricity. Mm-hmm. Stormfront uses electricity. That's her power.
Yeah.
She shoots lightning bolts, essentially. She, like, Palpatine's ultimate power. And they're having a fight, and this is, like, the climax, dude. This is, like, we're in the climax fight. Everybody's, like, stuck here. We're having stuff. Stormfront fucking lightning blasts Starlight. She hits the ground, and she's gone. She just, because the scene needed her to be downed for a fight and some tension to happen for, like, 2 minutes. And I go, no. This is bullshit. She got hit by lightning. Yeah. She should absorb the power.
Well, they've done the same thing with Thor. Like,
but that's what I was saying. That was my example.
Why does Thor, like, if he gets hit by lightning, he should just absorb it too, or at least Mjolnir or something.
Well, but even better, I gave the example is Starlight could be Iron Man, and Stormfront was Thor. So when he hit her, or when Stormfront hit her with the power, it should have supercharged her. If anything,
there's a work around that in comics, all the comics. Anyone who uses electricity, generally early on, they have some kind of like a battery cap, and if they go over that amount of energy, they get hurt. Like,
which I'm fine with, but you have to establish that stuff.
That should have been.
Because if you're having this big fight between two baddies, I need to know what their limits are. Otherwise, there's no tension. A perfect example is when Tony's fighting Thanos on Titan in Infinity War. You're watching. I think that's half the reason why you like the nanite, or just that's why Iron Man really works in a fight. You know, he's a pseudo kind of OP for what he actually is, a guy in a metal suit. But seeing his stuff get damaged and he's losing pieces, it shows that there's wear and tear.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, and that's what creates the tension.
Also, according to Marvel, like with how they've done with Thor and Iron Man to power them up,
levels.
Could you say then that Iron Man getting blasted by Electro should just power his fucking suit up too?
Yeah, really should.
We've clearly seen him taken down in the comics by him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But again, that's why I always say try to go by the movies, and then if they can do really good comic book Easter eggs and at least hold true to the characteristics of the character from the comics, then that's fine.
I kind of brought that up because we are getting Jamie Foxx back as Electro, possibly.
Yeah.
So weird. I want to hold off.
Same version.
I want to hold off talking
hope so.
about that. I
Yeah.
want to hold off talking about that because right now I totally believe it's all rumor and nonsense.
Yeah.
But
It
Well,
might
there's
be.
more rumors, but I'm holding off until someone else
There's
confirms.
too
But-
many rumors.
but here's my final one, and this is the episode that broke me, and I called it good. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it anymore. Lamplighter gets introduced. Sean Ashmore, by the way,
Yep.
who is
Hold
Mr.
on.
Iceman.
Yep.
Iceman.
Yep.
What is his power?
He's so you know how Iceman and his buddy Pyro
He's
were
basically
in the X-Men
Pyro
movie?
now.
Yeah.
He's Pyro. He literally has the flick lighter
Yep.
that he just sits and annoys you with.
Which I kind of feel that's like a meta joke that fucking Seth
I
Rogen's
hope
like,
so.
Hey,
I fucking
you're
hope
going
so.
to be
with
Pyro.
Seth Rogen in charge, you know.
Which I'm fine with and could be really cute.
Because I
My
found that
issue
funny. I
is-
found that funny. Like I had to point that out to Nikki.
Yeah.
I was like, "That's fucking hilarious." She's like, "What?" I was like,
It's
"It's
Iceman.
Iceman." It's like-
Yeah, with his friend was Pyro, who had a fucking annoying lighter where people
Yeah.
told him to stop doing
Which
it.
Pyro got changed around multiple times too in the X-Men movie. Boom.
Yep.
There's another one.
So
Bring it back.
my issue is that Lamplighter ends up turning because apparently he has some history with Frenchie, who's my favorite character in the show, by the way.
Yeah.
Why is his name Lamplighter?
It's so dumb, and
'Cause
they
he
do
can
make fun of
light
him.
lamps, man.
He does have well because they also give him like a fucking retarded staff that has like fire
Lantern
in it.
lighter.
It's so dumb, dude. It's really funny though. And they do make fun of him about the
Yeah.
name and the costume and all that shit.
Oh, good.
So it's fine. They do make fun of him, which I don't know if it necessarily helps, but it's his name. He used to be part of the Seven. He got removed. He's doing stuff. I won't ruin that for anybody because it is kind of a cool reveal, but it doesn't really end up mattering because for some reason, Starlight gets imprisoned in the tower. She's outed. People know that she's done some stuff, and the Seven aren't cool with it. And they have like a containment room, a
Yeah.
prison that should hold any soup, essentially, is the point. And again, she draws her powers from light, essentially, energy, if you will.
So it's basically like the Ark,
Sure.
supposed to hold powers, people.
Sure. So they put her in the room. Of course, there's green lights illuminating. I will let that go for the sake of it. I understand that they're trying to tell me it's like, well, you just want to see her in the cage. I go, then just don't show us. Just have her just banging on the thing. And then they maybe like show us a picture of what the thing looks like with the lights on. Like in a screenshot or something. You know what I mean? Don't actually have lights in it when that's her power. So that annoyed the shit out of me, but it's fine. I'm like, okay,
Maybe
work with that.
the lights are solar powered and the cables go out and there's just solar panels there and she can't
oh,
get power from the
don't,
sun.
Don't worry, Michael. Keep it in mind because we're not done with it yet. So Lamplighter decides he's working with some baddies, doing some baddie stuff, but they convince him to be a good man in one episode. Not even a full episode, like half an episode. He's going to end up testifying against Vought, the company that runs the soups, essentially.
Yeah.
And with his testimony, they can bring down the company, quote unquote. That's the idea. So he's in a safe house. All the boys and all the people like doing all the stuff, they all fuck off for some reason, which is really weird. And they leave Huey with Lamplighter randomly. And they're watching porn. It's superhero parody porn. Ha ha
Naturally.
ha. Do you get the joke? It's fucking hilarious. Oh my God. I fucking hate this season. And so they keep doing that. And Huey somehow convinces Lamplighter. And the way that Huey and them find out that Starlight's been captured and being held prisoner is so fucking stupid and convenient. It hurts my soul.
Was it in the
But-
porn?
It was literally, they were watching porn, right? And Lamplighter says, you fucking turn it off, I'll light you on fire, blah, blah, blah. So then we cut away, we have the scenes, and then they're doing a press conference where Homelander and Storefront are talking about how Starlight is this like terrorist, undercover, bad person. And then we hard cut back to Huey's face watching the TV as if he's probably watching the press conference take place. No, it's more porn. Cool, really running this joke into the ground, are ya? Neato. And so Huey finally goes, fuck this, I'm turning it off. He turns it off. Hard cut the TV goes right to the press conference, and that's how he finds out that Starlight's been captured. I'm like, fucking convenient. Eat my butt, stupid show. Somehow, he convinces Lamplighter to go with just him and just those two to go to essentially Avengers Tower by themselves to break her out. How?
Fire.
There's a mere, I know, light the whole building on fire. Let's just see what happens. No, they show up, come in the ground level. Lamplighter has a hand screener. He's still in the system? I'd be fired from Michael's craft store and they wouldn't even let my employee number open a fucking sliding door after a month. Are you kidding me?
Kroger canceled my employee discount the day after I left.
You know what I mean? It makes no sense that this corporate, insane, like, baddie company would still have him on file. And even if he did, security'd be like, who's this guy that we haven't seen in 1,000 years? He's just back and he's in the building. He brings Huey in. They act like security cameras just don't exist.
They should have explained that as they still use him for press, really, or something.
Oh, it's so fucking bad. Oh, trust me, they don't. His backstory just does not work. So him and Huey somehow end up in the Seven's room, the Hall of Justice, if you will. Mm-hmm. They're in the room looking at the statues, and he like laments the fact, oh, they took my statue down. Like, bummer. It's like, yeah, you haven't been part of the group for like fucking like 10 years, my guy. And he gets all sad and lamenting, and he looks at Huey, and Huey's like, what the fuck are you doing? We need to go. Like, we need to like help. We need to figure this out. You're the only one who knows the layout. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, oh, I wish my dad would have blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden he lights himself on fire. Kills himself.
Because he's depressed?
I guess. Because he feels like a bad man. Like, I guess he wanted to atone for all the terrible things he's done or something.
Not a good time.
But guess
you
why?
atone by testifying, dumbass.
But why? Exactly. But why? But why did Lamplighter have to kill himself in the room by lighting himself on fire?
Smoke alarms.
Smoke alarms, alarm lights, warning lights, and sprinklers go off. There are emergency lights that go off in the cell that Starlight's in. She steals the power from those lights and breaks herself out. Then Huey's stuck in this building by himself as a wanted international criminal.
Who's just human.
Can't do shit. And he's not even like Billy Butcher, who's been doing this for a long time. So even then you have the issue. So now what's his plan? He has to get around. So he goes to the burned corpse of Lamplighter, breaks a liquor bottle, and we have this grotesque 30-second moment where he rips off Lamplighter's like wrist and hand. Why do you think he did that?
To like use his
get out?
Powers?
Powers, no.
No, use the door scanners, which shouldn't work because his skin burned off.
Yay! Tivis, you nailed the $1 million obvious fucking plot hole, people. This is retarded.
I really hope Lamplighter turns out to be like a phoenix and he just gets reborn.
Rises
Where the
from
fuck's
the
my wrist?
By the way, no. Second, this makes it even better. Starlight's mom is being detained in that building as well, unknown to the knowledge of Huey and Starlight. I don't even believe that Huey's even met the mom at this point of Starlight.
Yeah, at the church in the first season.
Oh, okay. So that's fine. So for the most part, then they pseudo know each other. That's fine. He goes down into the basement using the charred hand. That makes no sense.
Why are we going to the basement? Why aren't we escaping? Oh, he thinks Starlight's still there. That's right.
Exactly. He still wants to break her out. He doesn't care. He hears a woman banging on a door. So naturally, he opens the door. Mm-hmm. It's Starlight's mom. He just happens to run into her. And then Starlight's running around. All three of them run together. And they just escape. I go, this show is built on convenience and bullshit. I'm just like, when the finale happened, I go, my brain could not take it anymore. And this is, Michael, this is after you and I talked about the chip thing in the very first episode that I praised. The idea that they're down in the subway and her chip just doesn't work. Yeah. Fuck off, show. But I was willing to give you that. But then they're just like doing They're going off on car
there's
trips.
The only other quote unquote superhero group that I know that puts chips into their people is the Suicide Squad.
Yep.
So why do these people
insane.
think they're safe with a fucking chip in them?
It's so insane, dude. It's so insane. And I just got to say, fuck this season. It was
there a
really
chip
bad.
in Translucent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, that's funny you brought that up. I did like the idea that somebody said, if his skin's impenetrable, that's like the whole point. Mm-hmm. Why did he explode into a bunch of pieces in the first season?
Spoilers.
Well, yeah, it's first season. I don't care.
Tivis ain't there yet.
I mean, they said it's a type of metal, so I guess it would just depend on how much.
No, the translucent thing happens in like the first 2 episodes or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's like this weird metal. So you would think it would just like encase inside him.
I guess it would just depend on the impact force that the metal can take.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
well,
he got hit by a...
Hulk's skin is supposed to be impenetrable too, but you can still end up making him bleed. So there's always impenetrable is only to a specific limit, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. Which is fine. I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I just do find that funny that like you can't hurt him from the outside at all.
If his skin's impenetrable, how did they put a tracker in him?
Oh, they shoved it up his ass.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the joke. But my whole thing is when it exploded, I feel like the body should have encased everything, and like maybe everything dripped out of all the orifices. That don't work. Oh yeah, and Stormfront gets stabbed in the eye, by the way, even though they're all bulletproof. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
All the heroes are fucking bulletproof and like their skin most so tough and shit.
Most of them, and if they're not, they are shown. It really kind of hurt my soul.
Is that making fun of the Superman trailer where the bullet hits him?
I love that scene though. That was like the one cool thing from Batman Returns, or Superman Returns. Man, I don't know.
Bruce try and do that.
I'll have to check it out and see, because you describing it just sounds like a shit show. But of course,
but I mean, you can the characters.
Yeah.
But you like the characters and the dialogue's fine, and you kind of just want to see where it goes, regardless. But man, I'm just saying the mechanics of it are so weird, and like the puzzle pieces are so disjointed.
Yeah,
it really feels like a puzzle that like when you had like when you built the border, right? Mm. And then when you started putting all the pieces in the middle, you just started slamming and mashing them together, and you're like, close enough.
Yeah,
and so I appreciate letting me rant on that because I've been sitting on this for like 2 weeks.
I want to get
killing my soul.
I want to get to watching the rest of it just to get it done, but we've been busy with like horrible slasher movies from the 2000s.
Yeah.
And
it's Halloween, dude. We want to watch scary shit.
But... I mean, the last 2 nights we haven't watched any Halloween stuff because we watched American Pie, and then last night we watched Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Yeah.
Because I told my wife, I was like, we're going to watch this because God knows when it's going to get canceled from everything.
Yeah, I can hear a lot of the tropes they're making fun of and what... Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he's saying, and that stuff, but yeah, I agree. Some of the stuff, like, you have to explain it. And it seems like they're either forgetting
or
to add the explanation or just like, who cares?
Yeah, they're probably like, who cares? Or, Marvel gets away with with more shit, so maybe we can get away with it too.
I will say a show that we have watched that turns out not to be binge worthy. I found out America's Funniest Home Videos is on Disney Plus, and they have a whole section of Halloween with a bunch of the Halloween, special episodes.
They reuse not binge worthy.
They reuse so much. And I don't think anyone would notice if they were watching year to year, but binging it, you see the same footage.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, because it's a show basically just they probably forgot themselves, what they shown. So
a couple of them are the exact same with same Tom Bergeron, talking over it, same thing said.
Yeah,
I heard Tom Bergeron, and all I'm thinking was like, oh man, remember when Dancing with the Stars was good?
So are you his era, or have you guys watched all of Danny's era yet? Sorry, what's his name?
Alfonso? No, it's the current one.
No, original.
Carlton?
Yeah.
Original.
America's Funniest Home Videos.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Full House guy.
Danny.
Oh, Bob Saget.
Bob Saget. Thank you. It's fucking Danny from.
I love how I walked away for like a minute while you had the discussion, and I beat both of you to the answer.
I watched from back then. I don't know if she has. We
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of just started watching. I used to watch every Sunday. We're talking about America's Fun Videos, John.
He gathered that now.
What?
Yeah, I used to watch it every Sunday with my grandpa.
Oh yeah, the Bob Saget version. That was like our family thing. It's what we did. I believe our family even submitted one. We actually submitted a video once. Yeah, I don't know if it ever actually got on. I don't remember. I don't think so. There was one where we had a slip and slide.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in it was Colorado Springs. We lived on this army base, and we had this nice backyard with big long hill that went down into a fencing area. So we had a big fenced off backyard, and it was like, I don't know, like 30 feet flat, and then it started to roll down, and then you had a pretty solid drop off. So it worked for sledding and slip and slides and stuff. We did a slip and slide. I flew into the chain link fence, and I got fence and got stuck underneath it like an asshole.
That's funny.
My sister just kept laughing.
That seems
and I was
like
like a kiddo.
That seems like something that would be on Tosh.0 rather than.
I was like, well, to be fair, it was from far away, so it was like I was like, oh man, if I was in Colorado, it was like 2, 4. I was probably like somewhere around 6 or 8, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I was relatively young, so you just hear like this weird noise. You're like, wee and then like the sisters like yelling and stuff, and yeah, it was really funny.
We had one that we talked about submitting, but we never did. It was me and my sister my sister and I when we were younger, and
Nice cover. I like it.
And we were making, I think it was Christmas cookies. I don't know what it was, but we're rolling out the dough and stuff, and I just sneeze into the dough. We're like, yeah, it's fine. You didn't make it in. Clearly made it in.
Yeah.
All of our home videos were always like backyard wrestling things, so there was nothing we were ever submitting to that fucking show. I always wanted to, though. They had in the late 90s, early 2000s, the professional backyard wrestling videos, and I always tried to submit to that, but we never got in. I was sad. I was like, I cut my face open for this shit.
Oh, dude. Speaking of WWE, have you heard what they did with this draft?
I haven't heard anything because WWE is a piece of shit right now. And
God, it pisses me off. They broke up the New Day.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's an old day now.
Just why?
Oh, Vince just I don't know what they're doing over there.
Neither do they.
Yeah, I know. I guess I could go work there then.
Well, you used to do stuff with NXT though, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you pseudo did.
No, they're two different. Oh, no, because NXT and WWE way different. NXT is so much better. Used to be, I guess, yeah, until they took it back from Triple H, or whatever their shit was. Yeah. I don't know.
Did you? I want to hear you guys' opinions on the new trailers that came out. Did you see the Invincible trailer?
The what?
The Invincible,
No.
the comic.
Nope.
No. Oh,
I heard that. I was like the Mark Wahlberg movie when he tried out for the Eagles. Yeah, I saw that like a decade ago.
it's a. I thought it was going to be a live action adaptation. It turns out it's animated, and the art looks exactly like the comic. It's by the same guy who did A Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, and it's really good. I'm reading it currently,
Okay.
and so it's going to be on Amazon Prime next year, I think.
At this point, everything's going to be on streaming. At least that's what Disney thinks, because that's the model they're trying to move to. Is just constant streaming with all of their content, movies and TV and everything. And
Way
not
to
like
just do a middle finger to theaters, like, hey, we're going to release a movie to our streaming for free this time.
Yeah, they're not
Screw
going to
you
go the
guys.
Mulan route. They're just going to focus on their content for that. They're basically going to be Netflix then.
If they're going to take
at
a
that
loss,
point.
yeah, if they're going to take a loss anyway, at least let the theaters have a chance to get some income. Like, come on.
Do it both ways. Send it to theaters, send it to your streaming platform. And granted, you'll get a lot more people go streaming, but for the people that like to watch the shit in theaters, especially your Marvel movies, like, let us have a chance to see it in theater. Don't take that away from us. Like, we've given you 10 years of our lives already. Why would you do that? You know, Star Wars is given that, like, the brand, not Disney, like, what, 40, 50 years
So
now?
okay, so what's the foundation argument here? What are we talking about?
So Disney is making their plans. They're focusing all their content towards streaming now, and basically saying "fuck you" to the movie theaters.
Yeah, they're planning
not
so
going
aren't
to-
going to exist.
Right, and it's not going to be like Mulan where you have to pay for it. It's just on Disney Plus, which also means their rates are just going to go up anyways.
Yeah.
But it's basically going to be like Netflix just for all the Disney content.
I don't know, man. It's a weird conversation to have, right? It depends on how and what the motivations are. So like you look at Disney, right?
Yeah.
We're losing Regal. Regal's about to shut down.
Yep.
AMC's
getting there.
pretty close
Yeah.
behind. The issues are, as of right now, I think we've always. I hate to be the tinfoil hat guy, but I really do think a lot of this lockdown shit is to test the waters and to make things happen that society, or not society, but like the powers that be, if you will, want to happen.
Yes.
This idea of like, we want mom and pop businesses to go out. We want them to die. That's the point. Because then the corporation, Walmart's take over, Walgreens take over. We don't need mom and pop stores because fuck
I
'em.
100% agree. Because
And-
especially with
I don't agree with the manifest, but I
don't agree with doing so, but
Yeah,
I agree with
exactly.
what you're saying. Like,
I would like to preface all
Yes.
of this with the fact that I want things to go back to the way it was back in the 90s, where the whole point is I'm so sick of this idea that capitalism doesn't work. It does work. The problem is it got perverted. Same way that politics does work. It's just been ransacked by these people who have their own personal agendas.
right now,
and we work with color and idea.
yeah, right now has been the best time for big corporations to come in and swoop up all these littler like brands.
Oh, you don't
not
even need to.
necessarily
Just let
mom
them
and pop
die.
shops. No, not necessarily mom and pop shops. Those
Yeah.
are the ones they want to die. But like other brands, like apparently 7-Eleven has like come in and bought out a bunch of different places.
Easy.
They just haven't changed the names. Of course, they're not going to. Why would you? That'd
Exactly.
be stupid.
Because you need to keep it secret
Right.
until
It's
you're
basically everything is becoming monopolized by these couple of big industries, and even with like the decrees going away and the movie theater stuff, it's like, why did that have to happen this year? Like, of the year where the movie theaters are suffering the most too.
Well, no. You see, you're looking at the movies. The fun part is it's an election year. That's the thing. And
everything. It's all like
it's really strange. They're all meshed
big
in this garbled
sphere of bullshit.
It's this big garbled mess. And I would tell people, like, honestly, if you want to see where we're heading or what we already are, I think the two best movies you could ever watch right now are Basketball, dead ass, and Idiocracy. I think those two, because I mean, we have Kanye West running for president, quote unquote. Not like in an official capacity.
right. He's
as
not
of
with
right
a
now.
party, but
Official
he's
in
an
one
independent.
state.
Exactly. But let's also argue
You
if
can write him in, people. Like,
but fuck right off if you're telling me
Not
that
everywhere.
if The Rock and Stone Cold did president, vice president, people wouldn't vote for that just for the sheer
who
irony
would be
of
who?
it.
Who would be who? The Rock has to be the speaker of the
Oh,
House.
easy. Oh, easy. The Rock is the president. Rock is president.
Future king.
President of the United States is The Rock because he's got likability. He will always get voted back in.
And then you have
he's-
Stone Cold to be the
No,
dick
and
guy.
and diversity.
Yeah.
Diversity. Then you have Stone Cold be the vice president because he will defend his fucking buddy to the day ever, and if they don't like it, he will stun them.
Introducing
not only mentally
the
but
President
physically.
of the United States. Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And see, and we're fucking children.
SNL,
where if we
please.
saw it, yeah, where is SNL? Like, oh yeah, no wait, they're not funny anymore. That's right.
Yeah, they're not.
They're
Although,
really not.
Their debates thing.
Bill Burr being on there apparently the other day was actually
That-
really funny.
the-
That
the-
shot up everywhere.
The debate thing that they did with Jim Carrey as Biden, that was more serious than the real fucking debate, which was so sad.
It is sad.
I don't know if that was funny or just cringe. With
Which
This
one? The
Biden-
real one or the fake one?
Jim Carrey one.
This Biden shit is freaking me out, man. Poor guy. I don't want to stay in politics. I understand people aren't.
That's
here
why
for
I'm
that kind
making
shit,
fun
but-
of all of it, because it's
I
all
get
show.
that. I get that people like aren't here for this, but man, you need to understand. Like, I really do kind of hate this rhetoric of the idea, like, ooh, well, I just like a movie or I just like these things and blah blah blah. Yeah, but you establish a pattern at some point. It's kind of like the idea, like, if you came to somebody's house and saw what was hanging on their walls or what their shelves were filled with movies or books, only books, no movies. What if they had no movies and it's all books? It says a lot about your personality. To think that these things aren't inherent to themselves, like the idea, like, okay, so like, with a movie, they have like, go watch 90s stuff. They have their political things, the way that they do stuff, the way that they, put in. Demolition Man's a good example. Like,
Which we're getting there too.
and it's so awful. But like, I've even brought up Last Action Hero, the idea of making parodies. Like, so parodies.
Hey, those police
of,
didn't have guns either in the Demolition Man.
I know. And they didn't even have toilet paper because they ran out because of Corona.
three
they had to use
shells.
seashells.
Which
do you
I've
understand?
I've seen the diagram of how you're supposedly supposed to use those. Just saying.
You will rip your butthole open. Don't ever do that. You will bleed.
Use corn, if anything.
A shark.
You never heard of the corn
Stop
stalk?
it.
You mean
No.
the husk from a corn? Like,
Yes, that's what I
Okay.
meant.
Don't use that either. It'll give you a paper cut. It's awful. You guys are bad people.
Better than a
What-
shell.
Go out and get yourself some bark, okay? Take some bark off your
Just
tree.
use-
Make sure there's no bugs. on
No,
it.
just use your fucking hand and wash it off, you psychopaths.
You know that
I'm not
stuff they
gonna
call
cut-
poison ivy? Go
I'm
grab
not
it.
gonna. I'm not gonna cut my butthole.
You know there are these things called rags, and
No, my whole idea is that we've talked about the idea of fictional people inspiring you, the idea
Yeah.
of fictional stories being a representation of the time that they were made. It's why 1984 comes up constantly. These things could be potential warnings or they're just entertainment. Pick what you want. What you take from them is you. But when you're having situations like this that are mirroring things that we have essentially seen for decades, the fact that you don't go home and think about it on a personal level seems really strange to me. It's like, well, I watched the
John.
movie and it was fine.
John, you gotta remember this too. Movies inspired people to be like engineers and stuff. Like Star Trek has inspired
Star Trek,
engineers,
yes.
doctors, everything. Just because a movie inspires someone to do something great doesn't mean a movie also won't inspire people to do the corruptive shit in those same movies
and that's
too.
and that's been the argument for our video games violent. It's that big thing we've had for a really long time.
Right.
And I go,
Sorry.
at that point, what people are advocating for is it's the idea of putting warning labels on a pack of peanuts saying that this thing will contain nuts, or hot coffee has hot coffee. You know what I mean? It's this idea of like, we are holding back and not telling the stories that need to be told or using the rhetoric that needs to be used to fit the story being made because we are worried about backlash, when that is essentially pre-censorship. It's like this idea of like, if I censor myself correctly, and you see it on YouTube constantly, I can't use certain words, I can't use certain images, I can't say certain things. If I'm censoring myself because I think I'll be deplatformed, that in itself is inherently already a problem. And that's the big issue. The idea that you are creating censorship proactive or
preemptively.
like in a pre and proactively. It's the weirdest thing because we're retroactively censoring things while trying to keep people from even feeling safe enough to say the things that they want. I've always said free speech is good because giving somebody the opportunity to say something stupid on a platform. Hello. Hi guys.
You're welcome, internet. I'm so sorry.
But the idea is that you can find the people that you disagree with quicker, and the people that maybe the idea of when if somebody is just filled with hate speech and doing stuff constantly that is very, very against the norm, they're calling themselves out. It removes the work for us. It's kind of like the idea, and I'm not going to say whether or not I agree or disagree with the idea, but when somebody flies the Confederate flag outside of their house, they have the right to do that. But guess what happens? You now have been considered something. We don't know what it is, but it does give everybody an opportunity who doesn't like that kind of stuff. I'm just never going to ever converse with that person. I'm going to stay away from them and let them have their own little bubble, and they'll be a terrible person by themselves or a good person by themselves. I don't know their values. I don't know what they do.
Sucks.
Maybe they just like Dukes of Hazzard. I don't know. It was the flag on the general, therefore it was
Dukes
cool.
of Hazzard, the movie, even made fun of that. Or
Yep.
yeah, it was the movie.
Look, man, it's like nobody's gonna ever have the ultimate answer, and I just think keeping when you can reach so many people, like there should be a vetting process when you're putting stuff out. That's what focus groups were. Like, do what you need to do, but the hard part is everybody wants to police stuff so quickly on the internet that they just want to censor everything, so nobody can do anything. So even the people who are being just and noble and paying attention, like even those people on YouTube are having an issue getting through the nonsense. Like imagine somebody like a Philip DeFranco who can't be monetized, and like regardless of whether or not I agree with him right now or anything like that. When you say the word COVID, you can be demonetized. That's crazy.
They stopped that now. They stopped that.
Well, hopefully, but the fact that was happening in the first place.
Yeah. Which it's funny now because I didn't know that was a thing, and we were saying COVID on here. I mean, we don't fucking monetize this shit anyways. Yeah. But I didn't know that
the global bastard.
Yeah, like people were calling it like the soda disease or the pop disease,
the beer
bug or whatever. I'm like, what? Why are you guys just being a bunch of pansies? So what if your video gets like notched? Who cares? Just to say one fucking word, that's censorship right there. So.
Or even just the idea about fair use. You use a clip for 6 minutes to create a 3-hour video, and somebody else gets to steal your work.
Something I actually want to go into
insane.
in the future because of what happened with Fleetwood Mac.
Yep.
We don't have to necessarily talk about that today, but
right.
I don't know. I'm afraid we're gonna get into a deep dark hole of politics. We did all.
Well, no,
we did
like
okay,
what were we originally talking about? Oh, movie theaters or no Disney. Yeah. It was Disney.
Well, it's mostly Disney.
Disney basically getting rid of.
It's all Disney.
Disney basically getting rid of like the movie theater platform as their main platform that they've used, which is sad because they've used the theaters for decades to become so big, you know. But they're seeing that we can just put it on streaming. I don't understand how they're gonna make money off of the streaming platform without jacking up prices.
Well, as of right now, they're like the only production company like that has a plan. Like Mandalorian seasons
Warner Brothers
2 and 3 are
Warner
getting
Brothers
done.
has their shit set up.
Yeah,
which I think is they're following Warner Brothers is because the Warner Brothers is making more content.
Key word that John said, plan. Warner Brothers is working, but I don't know if they have a plan.
Yeah.
The idea is, and I've always said this, since streaming stuff started, they don't care about quality, they care about quantity. Get something out that people will watch, and they'll go that way. I'm just not
after 2 seasons.
But I'm not that guy, man. Make something good. I'll wait. Make it good. Make it something that I want to watch multiple times because it could be really awesome and there's nuance to it and there's Easter eggs and all kinds of good stuff that I could learn from it. Or you know what? Fuck it. You guys aren't making anything good. I'll just go watch White Chicks again or watch Lord of the Rings again or Cool Runnings or like movies when they were good. How about that?
Can we just let independent artists just do some shit? Like, I'm tired of everything is Disney or Warner Brothers now, and that's it. And I want to see more shit.
How dare you?
Godzilla.
Netflix took the reins. Cuties. We need a Cuties cinematic universe. A Cuties cinematic universe.
There is a new cinematic universe if you guys want to hear about it.
Is it Cuties?
No, Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, fuck me. No, let's hold off on that for the next run. I already know Michael's sad that we went longer than he normally wants to.
No, that's cool. It's good conversation, dude. Tivis, there was something
I'll
Tivis
keep
wanted
going.
to talk about.
I'll talk fucking all day. I don't even care.
Like
I'll talk all damn day.
There's some shit Tivis wanted to talk about though, or a question or something you had brought up before.
Oh,
I
I didn't know
sure,
if you
bring
wanted
it up,
to do
dude.
that this one or not.
I don't
Bring it.
remember
I'm in.
what it was, so because I never like if either of you guys, just so you know, send me something as a topic that you want to bring up, just know I always forget it. So because I'm not gonna sit all week long and think about it, I'd rather it come off the cuff.
So I was watching. We talked about Phil just a little bit ago. I was watching his report on the Disney
DeFranco?
stuff. And, yeah.
Okay.
And in the comments, something caught my eye, and I'm not even going to bother to look up the person or what they said because who cares? Okay. Something along the lines of the one thing we learned from COVID is that celebrities aren't essential. And I thought that was an interesting take because it's like, in a way, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but in another way, they're keeping a lot of people who are considered essential sane. So how essential do you think they really are?
So that would be basically a definition of what we think essential is for an individual then.
Like, how much do you think we need celebrities in our world? Because
celebrities or art?
Celebrities. This was specific celebrities. If you want to expand upon that,
I would expand upon it because celebrity means somebody that has like a stature of certain height. At least that's how I see the word celebrity. But you can still have actors. Actors, I feel, are essential. Musicians, artists are essential. Whether they're super famous or not, I feel that they are essential in creating content. Music, media, movies,
to keep
whatever.
The conversation, for the sake of basing conversation, feel free to keep going.
Yeah.
Celebrity is defined as a famous person, nailed it, or the state of being well known.
Okay.
And I think that's the one we should run off of.
Yes.
Because being well known equals famous. So let's go off with the idea of you're well known. Because you can be infamous, which is exactly the same thing, just with a negative connotation.
Now, are we looking at then celebrity well known? Would it be like a cult following? Like they have a cult following and that's it. That could still be a well-known celebrity person.
No, but that's not the same thing. Like so
celebrity would be well-known as a general thing.
But Charles Manson is a celebrity in his own right. He's well-known. He had a following. And the whole idea.
No. I don't mean like cult like a cult. Like no. Like, okay.
They are though. But the idea is that you just hear the word cult.
Yes.
I don't know how we would define it. Feel free to clickety-clack on this one. But my idea is I don't think we're talking about do we need celebrity. I think it's a societal issue where do we need hero worship? And that's what I think we're doing. Of course we're going to have celebrity. The idea of doing something that influences people or you are put on a platform that you reach out to a ton of people at any given time, that will give you celebrity status. But it doesn't mean that it's what the person with that status does versus the person who is idolizing that person. Those are the two problems, is the extremes on both ends. This person who goes, well, since I am famous and I have this platform and I'm going to do that, I'm going to use it to manipulate my viewers.
Yeah.
And infect them with my ideals in the way that I think things should be. Even though that's not why they love me. It's why I'm not revered. I'm revered because I played a character on a show or I did a thing once and people like me and they love me and they want my opinion, but it doesn't mean that they should take it at face value. They shouldn't ingrain it into themselves. And that's where the hero worship ends up on the other side as a fan. Obsession, stalker, those kind of things exist. And that's the extreme on the other side.
So I think with...
Yeah, I took this like...
Okay.
Do you think, like, are these people needed? Like, are actors, book writers,
yes,
songwriters,
absolutely.
musicians,
absolutely,
playwriters,
yes.
directors?
Yeah. Because they're just because it's fictional doesn't mean it can't potentially be historic.
And are they considered essential worker? Or I guess they're not really needed.
That's the thing, is
to
are
run
they
the country,
essential?
But at the same time, without them, a lot of us.
I would not say that. Are they? You said you don't think that they are needed to run the country. I think art has.
We're arguing
ingrained...
two different things. Is the problem? We're arguing two things.
Let me finish what I was saying.
Okay.
I think the people who are there who keep everything running, the stuff the food, the
sure,
shipping and shit like that. They need it to keep themselves sane, because otherwise,
But here's the
reason people are angry.
No, but here's the. But
a lot of these jobs suck.
This could potentially be. It could be a false equivalence or a fallacy. Be a little careful with. I understand the comparison, but I don't think the comparison is needed. Would be my opinion on this one. But I understand what you're saying. The idea of we need truck drivers, we need grocery stockers, we need farmers. Do we really need entertainers? And I would make the argument, yes. Escapism is a big deal. And not only that, you don't want to remove the motivation of future people to come in and potentially come in and take over and be the future for the entertainment. Because us as humans have always wanted entertainment. There's a reason why cavemen drew on walls. There's a reason why
gladiators.
We had
everything.
Amphitheaters and all that stuff.
Plays and all that shit.
Every waking hour can't just be necessity. We need escapism. We need entertainment.
Look at Jesters. Jesters for King's Courts and shit.
There you
like
go.
That.
Beautiful. I love all these examples. These are great.
And even in times of hardship and everything, back in knights or medieval times, we'll say.
Yes.
They had jesters. They had them come out. They had concubines, but that's
a
different type of entertainment.
that's a different type of entertainment. But my issue is this is an idea. You're also this is something that I've brought up 1,000 times, and I really like this conversation to kind of springboard it. The idea that just because it's entertainment doesn't mean it can't have knowledge and value and history to it. The idea is when you look at a book, when you read a book, or you look at a picture, or you listen to a song, hear the words, hear the things. There are certain instruments that never existed in certain cultures. There are lyrics that you would never, or there are myths and stuff that we would never know.
Yeah.
And without those stories, we have no knowledge. And even though some of it's fiction, a lot of this stuff were things that people believed in, literally believed. And knowing that kind of headspace really can keep you from falling in. It's the idea of a history constantly repeats itself, and with movies and books and songs and all this stuff, the way that we evolve due to the things we saw before, we can not only go better, we can get better, we can perfect, quote unquote, streamline, but also keep from doing the same thing theoretically, which as a species we have never seemed to be able to do. But think of the idea we've been making stories for 1,000 times, but we've rebooted them. And then the book turned into a movie, which also had a cartoon, which they had a song about it, which they had an audiobook about it. And you got something different from each experience, either because it was a reiteration. The Bible's a great example. Every time the Bible is translated, quote unquote, we get a different perspective. One of the greatest things I'll ever hear, and it's why I like Dogma, it's a parody to where if you grew up Catholic, yes, you could probably be offended, but I like the idea of you being able to suck it up for a couple hours and self-reflect. And Kevin Smith said one of the coolest things that's always resonated with me when it comes to religion, but I still argue it's the art of storytelling. It was an evening with Kevin Smith. I think it was his first one. He was at one of the colleges, and he said, it's really strange. I was sitting there thinking about the Bible when I was making Dogma, and, here's a moment where we look at Greek mythology and chuckle at silly stories. We look at Roman mythology and chuckle at silly stories. These people believed in that shit for a very long time. And he goes, well, I wonder how long it's going to be until people look at the Bible and chuckle at silly stories. And I go, that always resonated with me. Regardless of whether or not you believe in it, it's what you took away from it. Stories should inspire. They should have merits. How much you want to believe in the text, that's up to you. But teaching me something moral and just and good, I think is timeless. And it should be part of culture, regardless of where it comes from. And that's how I've always been. So, yeah, there you go. That's my TED Talk.
No, because I share a lot of. I want to hear what Myke has to say before I give my piece, but I share a lot of what you said.
You want me to go off of the base, like what you were talking about? Like, are they essential?
You can go from that. You can go.
Well, of course, I think entertainment as a whole, celebrities are part of entertainment. Unfortunately,
yes. It's an
Not
inevitability.
Fortunately,
yeah, it's an inevitability. Essentially.
Yeah, I am inevitable. I am Iron Man.
Inevitable.
No, I 100% agree with pretty much everything that John said. Like, look at history. We've always had entertainers. We've always had something. No matter how bad shit has gotten, there have always been some form of entertainer around to still entertain. The words might come out wrong.
The Black Plague still had plays and stuff.
Right. Well, you've always needed entertainers to distract. Like, I know we don't like they're distracting the people with this news or shit like that. No, like, you use entertainment to distract your mind from the hardships that are going on in the world right now. Like
escapism.
Distractify.
I like that T-shirt. Distractify.
Distractify.
I want that.
Like, you want that. Like, I don't want to sit here and just, like, I have no books, I have no music, I have no fucking movies or TV shows or plays to go to or, anything to just entertain myself. Then I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, so I'm going to go to sleep, I'm going to eat, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to go to sleep, get up, blah, 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 repeat.
The mundane aspects of the life.
Yeah, and then the only way, I mean, granted, without TV, you wouldn't have the news to show you a lot of the bad shit. Without the papers and shit, you wouldn't have.
We also have but we have the choice to. We have so much stuff now. We can choose what we see.
There's so many choices nowadays. But, to be able to distractify myself, I love that word anyways.
I actually like it now.
I use it around the house all the time. But to be able to distract myself from everything that's going on, not even just in the world, but in my own life. Like, if there's something I don't want, hey, I'm gonna go turn on the slasher movie and reminisce about these teenagers getting killed.
They got it way worse than me. At least I didn't get a knife in the back.
You see that chick? She just got slammed up against a tree in her sleeping bag. That's why you don't sleep in a sleeping bag like that.
Snacks.
So weird question, and I guess before Tivis goes off, because this is something I always want to bring up, because we do talk about escapism, which is an element of it. But I've also always really harped on the idea of how helpful it is potentially for people.
Mm-hmm.
What are things that you guys didn't know that you either were motivated to learn about or you specifically learned because of media? A song, a movie or a TV show, or a book or something like, and when I say book, not like a textbook, but like an entertaining book, because I could tell you my vocabulary is just through the stratosphere because of people like Kevin Smith.
Right.
I learned words like gentrification and shit like that because of him.
I lived it. So
monosyllabic I learned because of him. And but not only that, you look at sports movies, like, are those actual techniques? Fighting movies, did they really do it that way? Cultural stuff, is that really how it was? So they motivated me to learn more about the film because I was so entertained, and because of that, it inspired me to learn more than being in school mundanely. Let
me take your question first.
Sure.
And then use it to finish up my answer as well to Tivis's main thing. Like you were saying, things that you can learn. If I'm, say, just, and not trying to offend anyone's fucking careers, okay, people? But if I'm just, like, working at Walmart as a stock person, okay?
Same. Yeah.
I can go home and watch something or even read a book and learn about different things to do that might, one, either make me better at that job, or two, make it so I can go out and get a better career, do something better with my life in general, not just, and it doesn't even have to be of a non-fictional piece of work. Like, you can learn a lot from fiction. Clearly, people have been, like I said, with Star Trek, people have moved into careers and their lives have been completely
Indiana Jones proved that being a teacher doesn't have to be completely useless.
Exactly.
Well, also, I would even say, like, this fucking stupid ass example that came up because of that. Think about movies that show the idea of a mundane life and you can escape it. Office Space. One of my favorite.
Well,
Wanted.
I mean, you don't want to always do what they do in Office Space.
No. But, but like Wanted, this idea of like everybody can absolutely sympathize and empathize with these characters stuck in these cubicles that go off and do these grandiose things. If anything, it can motivate you in a hyperbolic way.
If you watch really Wanted and you do work in like a computer area and there is a dickhead pissing you off, hit them upside the head with a fucking keyboard like Chris Pratt got hit.
Yes, thank you. I was wondering if you remember it was Chris Pratt. That was awesome. Andy Dwyer himself.
See, we gotta keep it. We this is entertainment.
It's how
you're learning something and you're having fun.
You come in circles.
But no, I 100% say yes. Celebrityism and media is something that is needed. It is not something that should be pushed back.
Do we need celebrity? No. It's an inevitability, though, of trying
even
to
if, say we got rid of all of the big name celebrities that we have, then what would we do? We watch like indie artists. What happens? Then they grow up. Fucking
10 years
South
from
Park
now?
did this. South Park did this about Walmart, I think it was. They burnt down Walmart or some shit. They went to their local store. That local store built up into a bigger thing. Then they fucking burnt that place down because it was what they didn't want in the first place. So it happens. It's inevitable. It's fucking Thanos.
Inevitable.
Like, come on. Like, that's what it is. So, and now we can answer your question, I think, John. Unless, Tivis, you want to go on your
It wasn't my question.
No, you asked a question, too, about learning stuff. But Tivis, do you want to answer John's or do you want to answer your own question? Like, now that you've heard from both of us?
Do both, man.
No, I agree with I was also going to bring back, they inspire people to go do things, to, whole careers can be inspired from one simple thing that they saw as a kid, or read or heard. And it's like, yes, this stuff is essential. Maybe not in the sense that this person's thinking, but in the broader scope of things, we need this. And like John was saying, this learning stuff, Steve Irwin.
Wow, great.
He inspired me to learn so much about all kinds of animals.
Bill Nye. We literally talked about Bill Nye today.
Hold off on the Bill Nye shit and watch Beakman's World. Fuck off, guys.
Beakman's World was another one I watched.
Rat Man.
Bob Ross.
Bob
Mr.
Ross?
Rogers.
Bob
Actually, I never
Ross.
knew who Bob Ross was until I got older, by the way. Like, until he became a meme, I should say.
But my dad was always a history buff,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of that rubbed off on me, like unintentionally. Like, I don't think I'm interested, but then I'll hear something in like a film or something that'll send me down down a
Yeah.
hole that I'm researching all kinds of like the history of fucking Rome or the city or something.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes into the next part, because the whole discussion kind of started with another person who is like, these people, we can entertain ourselves with our imagination, which is true, we can, but sometimes people's imaginations aren't as powerful as others.
Right.
And so and not only that, I think they
some-
kind of forget that some people can't consume the same entertainment as others.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would also like to
well-
add too to your using your imagination and entertaining yourself that way. It's also like not that everyone's imagination is different, but it's also sometimes some people's imagination needs that little boost of energy. Like H.P. Lovecraft would do it perfectly. Like he would give you something and your mind could run off of it.
Exactly.
So,
And like Tivis, like what you were saying, the idea that maybe not everybody can consume the same things because they have certain biases or ideals or just can't do it. Because I kept telling Michael, I'm like, God fucking forbid Tivis even gets through season 1 of The Boys, which is actually good. but then they dial it up in season 2, but it doesn't feel worth it. And even I'm a guy, I don't like gore. I don't like adverse gore. I'm not big on that ever. But I thought it was a novel idea. But when you break it down to the basics, if I were to tell Tivis, hey, here's an idea about a racist superhero, or like these superheroes that are bad people, but they do inherently good things, but only for selfish reasons. Like imagine like a Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
That shows up in a burning building and saves a bunch of people. And then he finds this like non-white family, looks at him and goes, good luck. And he leaves. Wow. What an impactful, weird scene that could be, right? And it gives you splashes of moral ambiguity and potential idealism and just all this stuff that you could really not only reflect on yourself, but like everybody will take it for a different reason. The son of Krypton, we're not from Krypton, but he's from Kansas. The son from Kansas, I live in Kansas. Like, are those the morals that he learned from here? Or did he learn it from the Kents? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You start to go down this rabbit hole, and I think that's what media does. It gives you the idea to spark a conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And even if it's not with somebody else, it's within your own brain, which I think is important. The idea that you can have a mirror held up to yourself and maybe rethink certain things is a good thing. I think being questioned constantly, saying the question why eventually can be annoying, but asking it at the beginning is never a problem.
Right.
I think
I kind of went off of something sort of like that with a tweet I put out yesterday where, like, people need to pay attention better to their stories, basically.
Yeah.
Because if they did, we wouldn't
Move
have
on.
so much fucking hate. No, not like the creators, but like people that are watching the content that are like, this is my favorite. Like X-Men is my favorite thing, yet I'm still out here being a racist asshole because I didn't get the point of fucking X-Men. Like, come on, like, really?
But even not only that, like not even getting the metaphors and the basic actual stuff. People literally have said that X-Men movies have the best continuity of all of the superhero films, and I go, well, you've lost your mind.
I would
But
have
people
to
like
rewatch
that
all
exist.
those, but I don't think so.
No, they don't. And I will always tell people, if anything, it has the worst. Especially New Mutants. Oh my god.
I still haven't watched it. I need to go see it before it's out of theater.
But this is the thing. You have to understand that these people exist. That have fundamentally wrong opinions. But it's an opinion. It can't be wrong. Yes, it can. If your opinion says that the sun is made of a cotton candy, you're wrong. Yeah. End of discussion. It's like, well, that's hyperbolic. Yes. Now just go ahead and in your own brain, don't make me do it. Feel free to take it down to a point where it's like a mouse is a rat, but a rat is not a mouse. That's my opinion. It's like, okay, but we can confirm that. Do we want to go have that conversation? If you subjectively like something based on feelings, then just don't interact with the mechanics of it. Just say, I enjoyed it. It hit the payoffs. Here we go.
Like I said,
if somebody says it's fundamentally broken on so many other issues, like the stuff I talked about, The Boys, I set those things up. That shit happens in so many movies lately where it's like watching it. It's like, I get that it's fiction, but man, you guys didn't even try. And
they're going for the big. They're going for the big.
I want the payoff,
and
I want the payoff, the stereotypical payoff wow moment. Yeah. But they forgot why those old movies, those were wow moments.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we had all the buildup, and without the groundwork and the buildup, your building will fall.
I have been going back and rewatching some of the older stuff too, just because. Well, besides the old slashers, but like actual older. Other films. I'm just like, when I turn it on, I'm like, God, I hope this holds up.
Well, yeah, and it's funny that we make the argument, does it hold up versus like they're universally beloved. And this is something I've always brought up.
I forgot how hyperbolic Jim Carrey's character was in Ace Ventura.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
All of them.
I totally forgot about the ass talking too.
Dude, how'd you forget? It's iconic, man.
I know. I used to do it.
My whole thing is like, so I think the only reason why this conversation has become so prominent lately, aside from Twitter, of course, that cesspool.
And it's just Twitter. It's not even all of Twitter. It's just like the film type people that follow.
Well, just the idea of critiquing. We're in the era of critique, where there's so much stuff and we've been kind of halted. Yeah, and
some people are like, God, I hope no one has watched this so I can say something first about it.
Now people aren't sitting back waiting for a production company or somebody to create something. Everybody can create something in a blink of an eye. You can upload it to Facebook on your own page 90,000 billion times. It doesn't matter. My idea is that the only reason why this has become the forefront of discussion is because Hollywood did it to themselves. And if they ask why, here you go. I'm about to address it. We have been bombarded with sequels and reboots and reimaginings and redos and cinematic universes that have asked us to pay attention to the continuity. That's what the MCU did.
Yeah.
Pay attention because everything's going to connect. So you're going to be rewarded if you watch all of our films. Yeah. And then towards the end, there was no reward. They started giving it to people who just wanted to do it. The sequel trilogy is a perfect example. You will be rewarded with the next two films because JJ set it up. And most people weren't happy with the first one because it felt like a reboot of the OT. Now, given all of these reboots, all of these sequels, all of these things that felt the need to not only delete old ones and say, hey, ours are going to be better.
Can I say, on the Star Wars front, and you can both correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not like a massive Star Wars fan. I just know the stuff.
But you are massive.
I know I am. Do you think that if JJ would have done all three, of course, but
probably still would have been shit.
No, not just that he did all three, but that they would have kept the aesthetic of like the first one that he did and just basically recreated each one.
Well, okay, so but do
you think people would have liked that better?
No, I'm going to answer your question. Don't worry. The idea is that there was a point where a couple of movies have finally lifted the veil.
Yeah.
And TV shows have lifted the veil. Last Jedi did it for a lot of people. Doctor Who, the newest season with Jodie Whittaker, really lifted the veil. I could think of Terminator, Dark Fate. wow. This lack of care about the original. Scooby-Doo. What was the movie that you hated, Tivis?
Happy Halloween, Scooby-Doo.
But here you go. Or Scoob. I would just say Scoob. This idea that you go into prequels and change things, because we had that problem with Solo. How Solo got his name? They literally did it with Scooby-Doo. They did the Solo version of that with Scooby-Doo. How he got his name.
Has had like 7 different origins.
But come on, man. The way he gets his name.
Well,
Did we need that? He could have just been Scooby-Doo. That could have just been his name and have been fine. Don't forget, we had the children version too back in the day.
A pup name, yeah.
Yeah, which I would even argue is better than anything we got.
They probably did the same naming of him in there though too.
Fuck me. I don't know.
Oh, I'd
have to go back.
That.
But the idea is that you have like the 2016 Ghostbusters with all the ladies. The issue is you have disenfranchised your fans from your franchise. Star Trek's a good one. Picard and STD. Star Trek Discovery, if people don't understand, because apparently Michael didn't understand that for about a year. The idea is that you have given us 100% comparisons. We can go back now and go, all right, you guys tried to remake it. Star Trek Into Darkness is Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Which one did it better? Wrath of Khan did it better. Sorry. Into Darkness looked better because it had the tech.
It had
some
RoboCop
cool
in it,
actors.
man.
But you know what I mean? Peter Weller. Yeah, boy. But the idea is that putting a good paint job on something...
Yeah.
Does that make it better inherently? No. Well, my opinion, no.
Right.
But the issue is with Hollywood now. We have so many reboots and stuff. We have things to compare it to. And I think that, and especially again, in the era of criticism and reactionary times.
I don't think it's even just necessarily that there's so many reboots that we're working with nowadays, because they've been rebooting shit for decades.
But I mean, think about it though. It's so blatant. You're killing 30-year-old franchises though.
That's the thing is, and not only that, everyone can find these nowadays. Before,
like, do you think I cared about Deep Blue Sea 3 like ruining anything? Like, come on now.
Didn't Samuel L. Jackson get spit out of the shark in the third one?
That was in the first one.
No, spit out of. So now he's back in the franchise.
It would have been the only reason why I would have watched it. It would have been less insulting than him, Nick Fury getting scratched in the eye by
Let's
a
go
dog
back then
or a cat,
to the main folk, like the main thing. Like, what were going on? Like, Tivis, you were going on about John's question now? Or were you still answering yours?
I was in the process of him before I got a phone call. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
I figured I'd fill the time.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, like I was saying, Steve Irwin and stuff like that. They and then later on the veterinarian show on Animal Planet, which taught me I could not be a vet because I couldn't handle that. And it's just, we learn stuff about ourselves through this stuff.
That's another thing I would like to bring up too, is like, so people don't think we're just talking about like fictional TV. There's a lot of non-fictional TV out there that you can learn a lot from. Like, look at all the shit on HGTV. You can learn how to build shit. You can learn how to do this. You can learn how to not be a fucking hoarder. You can, there's so much shit out there nowadays. You can learn how to fish. Where are those guys, the Duck Dynasty guys? I don't know if they teach you anything. God. I've never watched that, so. But still, there's so much stuff out there that you can learn from. I'm gonna let you continue, man. Continue. Like,
but yeah, and this stuff, it's a portal to, how many times can I say right now? It's a portal into another world, basically, where we can get a glimpse of. Yeah. Man, I can imagine myself doing that and thing. And not only that, but like you guys were saying, it raises morale. Like, it's escapism. Like, I honestly believe it's important to keep up with what's going on, but everyone has a limit. Know your mental capacity. Take a break. Go do something to help you relax. Like, don't overdo
There's a
it
reason
on
why
anything.
jobs try to give you fucking vacation days. You know what I mean?
Again, like, I hate to bring up Hoarders one
We're gonna
more
burn
time,
it down, Pookie.
but, like,
burn it down.
watching Hoarders makes me feel so much better about myself. Like,
Fucking hell.
whenever I walk into my garage, I'm like, all right, I can still walk in here at least. There's no dead animals yet, so I'm good.
Aw. I bet there's roaches up the ass though. It's Florida.
No, I set bug bombs off all the time.
Man,
Constantly.
Florida sucks.
Florida
I don't know
does
how you live
suck.
there. What a terrible state.
I think we get more snakes and lizards in the garage than anything.
Oh, pretty snake.
Yeah, and they're small too. You can barely see them. So,
Yeah.
no,
so,
dude, I agree with you, Tivis, man. Yeah.
not in.
God,
Sorry. I know people love them, but not me.
But
Surfing from hell. And that's pretty much, my. There's a bit more added onto it that I'll
Yeah.
get into in a second, but that is my view. You guys are frozen for me. Oh, thank God you're working again. And for those who have been listening since I've been on here, I think you can kind of tell right now it's really hard for me to kind of voice my thoughts on things. So I kind of stutter a lot, and I apologize. But
well, it's because Tivis, I always interrupt everyone, and I'm the most terrible person ever made. Duh.
at least you can admit it.
And I think it's important. That's the what is it? The first step
First
to
sobriety?
to fixing. Yeah.
and yeah. So in short, yes, I do think they're essential. And what John was saying a bit earlier on with putting them on a pedestal kind of thing, hero worship and stuff. Anyone who gets upset about that, blame your neighbors, blame your parents, because we put ourselves here. We wanted to learn everything about them. We made them the center of the attention, and so now they are on the high platform that they are because we did it.
Well, okay.
Kind of.
Wait. Okay. So, could you elaborate on that? I'm a little confused.
Well, I mean, look at all this. The E network, which is now dying, it was designed all around celebrities. All around learning about their lives, their personal.
We design everything around celebrities nowadays. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I can kind of see that in a roundabout way.
Like you have E Network Entertainment. You have fucking TMZ.
It's like anyone out there who gets mad about a celebrity voicing their personal opinion on stuff and saying, what weight does that carry? It doesn't. But the fact that you think it does,
there's a prop there. So here's the gray area. This is where 20 years ago I would have absolutely agreed.
I understand it does.
Tivis, 20 years ago I would have 100% agreed with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only insight and look that we get from the actors and their way of life or whatever, and we'd have to take it with a grain of salt, is anytime they did like a late night show, an interview with like, oh my God, Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be on tonight with the chin guy, Jay Leno.
That's why the paparazzi formed.
But
now you have Twitter and Instagram and all that.
Here we go. And now the problem is I don't actually believe. Yes, I'm sure, like, especially like the CW, like, okay, hey, Candace Patton, Iris West, you need to take over today and post your ass off for funsies. But then you have somebody like Stephen Amell, who actually cares about his product, cares about his character, cares about what he's doing. And that guy is not only making like his own business ventures, like with the wine cellar and stuff, but he also cares about his fans.
Mm-hmm.
He is choosing to do these Facebook meetups, to do these Instagram things, to do a lot of this stuff. I'm sure some of it's promoted, but most of it's on his personal channels. He usually makes that relatively clear. That's them, and I don't think they should be demonized for being nice to their fandom. But
not at all.
When you start using the fandom for nefarious things,
well, that's why I wanted to go back and amend what I said. It doesn't carry it. Okay,
We're a different beast. It's a different beast now,
Yeah.
especially with Twitter and how accessible people are now.
Look at influencers and how many people just do the things that they tell them to do.
Well, it's
some
funny.
reason.
You'll like this. This is really funny. I'm going to bring this up because, Myke, this is actually relatively topical for us. I want to bring on, hopefully, if there's anybody in chat who cares, chat, quote unquote, audience.
We're not live, John. No.
Listeners,
Shut up. Aiden Paladin is somebody I'm really looking to try and get on. She is like the queen of overt research and talking about stuff. If you haven't seen her on YouTube, recommend it. I believe the topic was parasocial relationships. And it came up a lot because of stuff that's going on at Rooster Teeth. So, Tivis, I figure you could be with me on this one. This idea that, like, the issue is that there's a difference between, like, an Aubrey Plaza, I like her, she's a cool actress.
Yeah.
And she's done some stuff on Instagram, versus you have people like the Rooster Teeth community, they call it the community, and it's them. They are their brand. Their own name is their brand. And they push that these are the people who we are. Of course, from time to time, they take on quote-unquote meme personas. But those were personas built from funny characteristics that they decided to be hyperbolic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think we've talked about that too before. Like, even ourselves on this show, we're not constantly always like this everywhere
Absolutely
we
not.
go. Like, this is a hyperbolic
Speak for
statement.
yourself, man.
I'm one of the most introverted. I'm one of the and I used to be an extrovert, man. But I've been so introverted in the last.
COVID's made everyone introvert. Oh wait, I'm not allowed to say.
Well,
COVID.
no, like
Oh,
I
no.
literally almost hate people at this point. Like, I worked in the food and beverage industry for like 10 years, and getting away from it was one of the happiest moments of my life.
I was
Like
I was
said earlier,
asked.
there's a reason people are angry at these jobs.
I was asked in a meeting the other day. They said, so if you got like personal information on somebody, how would you keep it safe? I was like, oh, easy. I don't fucking talk to anybody.
I wouldn't
like,
say anything.
I was
What the
like,
fuck.
I don't talk
probably
to
wouldn't
anyone. Right? I probably
wouldn't
forget
give
in
a
2
shit.
seconds.
Yeah.
We'll talk about stuff on here, and I won't even remember we talked about it.
Same, dead ass, dude. Same.
That's why I re-listen.
Same.
That's why I have to re-listen all the
Well,
time.
you have to edit, so
Yeah,
you-
I edit and I still re-listen after it goes live, so I get to listen
Well,
with the
just,
audience.
That's just because you're a narcissist. Who
I
loves-
am.
I-
I am
oh,
a
your own
narcissist.
penis.
I
don't
love
mean-
John. What are you talking about? If I was such a narcissist, I would be listening to my voice. I'm usually listening to just
true.
your voice.
Why aren't Tivis and I like lowered down, and the only person we can hear is Michael the whole time?
Not to go too much of a tangent, but this was months ago before you invited me to be on the show. Myke we were some kind of weird discussion with phones, and Myke goes, "Yeah, that wasn't that interesting. We're probably gonna, it's just fair. It was just us talking." And I'm like, "Phones? What the hell are you talking about?"
What?
What's that?
What? I'm so confused.
We were talking about Apple versus Samsung or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, I'm gonna take that part out. I'm like,
You guys
What?
tried to make an obligatory fuck Apple like segment without me? How dare you?
no, you were there.
Oh, I was there. Okay, well, double.
So
fuck
yeah, we
me.
all
Jesus.
forgot about it. But it was the same day.
Yeah.
And he's like talking to me. He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What are you talking about? What phone?"
Well, because the whole thing is not only am I trying to be as articulate as I can, I'm also trying to listen to you guys in the same space.
Yes.
So like, I have 3 conversations going on in my head at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of like, who do I respond to while I'm saying what I'm doing?
Yeah.
While, just it's while also trying to constantly. It's like a Rolodex.
You're trying
in
to
my
evaluate
brain.
what you're going
Yeah.
to say, what we're saying already.
Well, on top
and
of
still being a
memorization.
little,
Yeah,
like,
remembering
entertaining
what
at
we
the
wanna
same
say.
fucking time.
It's like you guys say something. It's like, oh yeah, fuck, season 3 of something 5 years ago. You know
Trying
what I
to
mean?
keep it in mind while the topic keeps changing. Trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
so we don't
exactly.
interrupt each other.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a lot of conscious elements.
Try
to
dealing
this.
with it being ADHD, and my brain just doesn't want to listen to anybody fucking
Mr.
talk.
Epileptic over here. The fact that you don't fucking fall
Sees
over
out while
90%
we're
of the time with
recording.
our conversations.
Right?
I know it's.
Isn't that the weirdest thing too? I'm epileptic,
Is
and I love
epilepsy-
watching horror movies that have flashy lights nonstop.
See, I was about to ask you. So is epilepsy just visual, or can you be like overstimulated by sound and stuff too, or is it just visual?
I'm not sure. I think it's just a visual.
All right, let's test it.
Right?
All
right,
a little bit of that.
All right, Tivis, I need you to start playing the drums, and then I'll just start screeching.
Oh
But
god.
no, like, okay, let's go back real quick. Like what you were saying, like they're kind of a character on the show while still being themselves, like we
Yeah.
do. We do that
Sure.
same. Tivis, you're not there yet. You'll be more hyperbolic later. You're getting there. You're getting there, dude. We can see it just building up. We can see you'll get there.
And if you do,
Full
it's gonna be
disclosure-
it's gonna be Mike's fault because he already soundboarded you with the I liked it.
I liked it.
This is how I am with my wife, and this is why she tells me I need more friends.
Oh shit! Really?
Stop talking to me about this stuff I don't care about.
I actually got lucky. I actually infected Hannah with it. Like I talked about the Scooby-Doo. Like she's like, it is actually a lot of fun to pay attention, and that's definitely a different mindset. It's one of these things. It's like I just want to watch it. It's like, yeah, but we don't get a lot of time together. So when we watch something, we want it to feel worthwhile, and we want to make sure when we watch it, it's like, did we fucking love that? It's like, yeah. Did we fucking hate that? Yes. Okay, the one we fucking hate, can we just put that in a box somewhere? And she actually bought stickers, like purple dots, pink dots, green dots. She goes, from now on, black
Good,
dots
bad.
are ones. We put black dots on ones. We're going to keep it
awesome.
for the sake to put it on the shelf. But she goes, black dot? No, we're not watching it again. Fuck it. I was like, Hannah, you are the fucking greatest person in the universe.
Nick started to do that a little bit more, but there was something that happened last week, which I didn't say on the show, which is funny. But like she's been talking more after something decent that she likes. If it's something that I just liked, like if we watch fucking Tusk again, she'll just be like, I'm out.
Well, yeah, she watched American Pie and realized how slutty she was. Oh, no.
No.
Damn it.
Those girls weren't
Please-
slutty either on the movie, dude. Like
No,
it
I was just
good.
I was hoping for the it was for the meme that nobody knows about. Shit. That's a behind the scene thing.
Yeah. See.
That was really funny, by the way. Sorry, none of you'll ever know.
Okay.
But the other day I was listening, I should say, to Kevin Smith talking. And he was talking about, of course, him and his wife, how his wife just doesn't fucking like talking about any of this pop culture shit or anything. And that's why he does like 5 billion podcasts on it.
It's like, I need to get it out, please.
And she overheard him saying something about how, I go home and I say something, my wife just tells me to shut the fuck up. And she's like, oh, you're like him and I'm like her. I was like, oh, fuck you, dude.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, we have a sticker system of our own. It's called anything on my bookshelf is no.
Oh, man, that's sad. I'm actually looking at your bookshelf. I'm like, you got some decent shit behind you.
That's funny.
I mean,
that's
you should
funny.
organize it. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I
but
wish. I want to so bad.
It looks like a big old bag of anus, but it looks like you got some good stuff on there.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, I agree. Going all the way back to my thing, this stuff is important. But one thing I will get into is someone who tried to have a debate with me about it. Know your history. Don't tell me that plays weren't prominent until pre-industrial society, which started around the 1700s, and the first recorded play is around the 1500s.
Somebody doesn't know about the fucking world stage from fucking Shakespeare.
that's
Shakespeare. It's just amphitheaters are a thing for a reason.
Like, that's a place.
I just want everybody to know that you two prompted a question that I've fucking perpetuated for a billion years. So I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't feel crazy.
Is Myke talking, or is he just mouthing words?
Everybody's gonna get red pilled someday.
There, now I'm not muted.
Jesus.
No, I was just saying I loved the conversation too, John. So yeah, it was great. I loved it. I liked it a lot.
Hope
I
the
liked it a lot.
listeners enjoyed it.
I looked at a lot.
I liked it a lot.
So Fuck Boy season 2. Do
Fuck
you
Boys? Is
recommend?
that's like a porno, dude. Fuck Boys season 2.
I would probably watch that over The Boys season 2. Adam Sandler movie. Go watch it.
Hubie Halloween.
Now, would you watch the spinoff still, John?
Spinoff of what?
The
Boys.
Teenage Clicks or whatever it's going to be called?
Wait, what?
The Boys spinoff. It's like the
Yeah.
college one or high school.
No,
one.
it's gonna be shit. No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
Just
never
curious.
even heard about it. I've never even heard about it. And if you can't even keep your fucking your flagship show, fuck off. You're gonna Amazon's gonna fuck up Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's gonna be awful. It's gonna be absolutely awful.
Yeah, I agree.
I want
They're
this-
telling people they're
with
gonna
the
be in
nudity
nude
thing,
scenes
I
in a
do
Lord.
feel-
I'm sorry, it's over. Like, don't even bother.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be awful before, but
Don't ever. Just don't do it. Fucking hell. Well, it's not like Michael knows what I'm talking about because he's never.
I have
fucking
no
seen it.
idea, dude. I only have one left to watch. Chill out. Hold your panties. It's fine.
It's been almost 2 years. You.
One
That's
a
a
year.
movie.
One a year.
I hate you.
Actually, it's been like more than like 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just not having this conversation because you make my soul angry.
Last
Supernatural.
words.
Finish out everything.
Supernatural?
That'd be great.
Yep.
And don't worry about the word essential, but should art and escapism and stuff exist? Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. But can we say the thing I advocate for is he got some time. Little bit extra quality would be nice. Take a little time. Let's write the script before we announce the date. Let's do that. Just a little fun. Maybe 3 redrafts. Seems fair for a multi-million-dollar budget. Just gonna throw that out there. Nothing wrong with writing a good, solid script.
nope.
You'll get your entertainment in,
So,
and you'll
Hollywood-
make the dipshits like me happy because it all logically
What
hit, and we'll all be happy.
what I took from that Hollywood is you either need to write better, quote unquote, tighter. There you go, Hannah. Scripts.
God, I
Or-
wish it was tighter. Oh no.
Or just lower your
Oh,
budget.
Tivis.
Just lower your budget. Just lower your budget for John to like your movie more.
Well, to be fair, just go on Twitter and lower your standards, apparently, because that's all it takes to make a good movie.
Yep. They're feeding it into us.
Aquaman,
Ah,
Endgame.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm ending this.
Let's go. You got a quote.
all right.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, my quote comes from Kevin Myers from American Pie. The first one.
Shipwreck.
No.
Oh shit.
Kevin Myers.
Kevin. No, Kevin was
Rookie of the year.
Fucking... Thank you. He was the one who went down on Tara Reid.
Yeah. He did the tongue tornado or tongue twister or
boy.
some shit like that.
I think it's Tongue Tornado.
Is it tongue tornado? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. This is a little bit longer one by Kevin Myers
Yeah,
from
'cause
American Pie 1.
Would it be a tongue twister, if you will? Okay, sorry. No, it's fine.
Gene Simmons tongue?
Scooby Doo. Oh, do you think Gene Simmons put the tongue on Velma or Daphne? Okay, sorry. Anyway, no, just it's fine. Nah, he did Scooby. It's fine. Keep going.
Shooby dooby doo.
Oh no! Don't do it. Scooby Dooby do me. Am I right?
All right, let's go. Kevin Myers from American Pie 1. No longer will our penises remain flaccid and unused. From now on, we fight for every man out there who isn't getting laid when he should be. This is our day. This is our time. And by God, we're not going to let history condemn us to celibacy. We will make a stand. We will succeed. We will get laid.
Today, we fight and dine in hell. No? All right.
Please do Galactus correctly, Disney.
They won't. Silver Surfer, not happening. Later, nerds.
You just finished another great episode of Operation Babble. You can catch every episode of Operation Babble on all your audio streaming services, including SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, and more. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Operation Babble, and join the conversation today by searching for the Operation Babble group on Facebook. Links also in the description. Don't forget to find Myke on all social platforms, including YouTube, by searching Myke Shrews, MYKESHREWS. You can find John on Instagram and YouTube via Bald Man Bad. Thanks and have a great day.